Hello and welcome to the new Fringe podcast. On today's episode, we've got a guy called Kyle Burton who has been introduced to me by the wonderful JXG. This is really interesting because he's a little bit younger than me, a little bit, I say, about 3 years. I'm getting on age. He's a little bit younger than me, but we have lived sort of this parallel life in Doncaster, and Doncaster's it struggled. The art scene has struggled. There hasn't really been many opportunities. There hasn't been funding, but we feel like we're living in this new age where we're sort of all these artists and people who are trying to innovate have met and have come across each other, and this is how the podcast actually started. And things seem to be happening organically and naturally. So I've been very, very happy to be introduced to Kyle, who I say we have more in common than we initially thought. Now, I don't want to say Kyle just works on instrumentals or I'm not really sure the correct term. I want to say lo-fi, but I don't know if that's offensive to his community. But I don't know even that's his name. Is it Saib? He's this artist who just works purely on instrumentals, and this is something what I think is rising a lot in this age. There's something quite warm about being sat on your computer. It's maybe raining outside, there's cars going by, and you listen to this wonderful instrumental, or even walking down the street. You've got a good pair of headphones and you're sort of caught up. I mean, we don't always need lyrics. Like one of my favourite guitar bands, Rodrigo y Gabriela, they play just acoustic guitar. I think they play better than any guitar player what's ever lived, and there's no lyrics to their songs. So I'm going to play, he's given me his Google Drive, and he said he's done something crazy like 100 instrumentals. And I believe this guy's got a big work ethic, and he's not just working for the sake of it. He generally is just finding stuff and really making it his own. He's like a natural, which I think is a pure artist. Pure artist doesn't really try, it just sort of comes out of them. So I picture Kyle sat at his computer working endlessly on it's the ear he has as well. So the song I'm going to play for you, I'm going to have to play, because I also speak about it in the podcast, and I downloaded it. I'm not sure if I was allowed to, but I downloaded it and I've been listening to it in the car. I listen to it now. I was about to say run, but that's a lie, I don't run anymore. But when I walk around, I listen to this song, and it's called Bandana, and it's instrumental of a song called Down in Mexico, which is one of my favourite songs. He's heard it from Death Proof, and Death Proof is one of my favourite films. Death Proof is one of Tarantino's lesser known films. It got hated on by the critics, and then it slowly started getting a little cult following, which is where I came in, and I sort of fell in love with it. So yeah, it's going to be Bandana, and we speak a little bit about it in the podcast, but I'd just like to say a little bit more on it. That when you hear a song and you think, it's very hard to hear a song and think it should be sampled, it should be remixed. I've seen some terrible. I always thought Sinatra songs would be good to be remixed. I remixed a Sinatra myself for one of a short film I did, and it worked really well because I had like this echo on it. But when you see certain songs remixed, like a Sinatra song for example, it's remixed to hell, or like a Bad Christmas song remixed. But we're now living in this age where there are people like Kyle who have this great ear for music, and he's remixed Bandana, so Down in Mexico, Bandana is what he's called it, in such a way. He's innovated the song for me, because it's one of those songs what slips lower down my Spotify playlist. So I'm just going to play this right here. Enjoy, and then we'll start the podcast after you've listened, and we're going to play one of his songs at the end as a sort of surprise, and I'll also put in the description the names of the songs played And it should also be said that Kyle isn't just working on music, he's also working on VFX, so special effects, and I think that covers animation. He's showing me some animation, so I'm guessing it does. So yeah, and he's also expressed, interest in comedy. He's just like me, really, a bit of a super geek, into a bit of everything, which is the best way to be. Alright, enjoy. This is Bandana. Yeah, I still haven't really made my mind up, really.
See, yeah, I don't think it's something you really can until it's about to happen, or
well, I don't fear death, but then I think if I'm going to be in a situation.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Like, if I'm on a plane and I'm about to crash, I'm gonna.
Yeah, you're gonna shit yourself. Yeah, of course. See, me though, it's never about me. It's about leaving other people behind and like what you haven't said or anything like that.
Yeah, it's the thought. For me, it's the thought of not seeing like what happens in the future.
Yeah, what happens to him or what happens next. Like if your favourite show gets cancelled halfway through, and you're like, I want to know.
Well, it's like
I'll never see it.
It's like because you like invest, don't you?
Yeah, you're invested in the story.
I'm invested in life. I want to see like.
I've bought 21 seasons of my life so far.
Yeah, is that your age?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel old now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was having this conversation last night.
Yeah.
Even my coat is getting old. Like, I've got an old man's coat now.
Oh yeah.
I used to wear like leather jackets all the time.
Oh, that's pretty sick to be fair though.
Yeah, and now it's just like woolly hat, like
Oh, I'm always in that just because I can't be arsed with my hair. My hair just like I don't want my hair short, but like it just pisses me off. Like I mean, it's not long. Like I did have it cut before I came back. But like, it's normally a lot, like, not as long as yours, like, but it's normally coming down to here.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, this is sort of happening in lockdown. I sort of wanted to grow my hair out, and then I didn't really want to grow it this far.
But it just kind of happened.
And then, like, to be honest, I can't bother to go to hairdressers. I just can't.
See, that was my thing as well. Like, but it got to the point where the sides of my hair were like proper tickling the insides of my ears, and I was like,
yeah, it's got its problems having long hair.
Yeah.
I like it because it's like a shield. Like no, seriously, I feel like it like protects me from the world somehow.
Oh no, definitely.
But I guess rid of like a lot of anxiety, and I think I've like just sort of grown into it naturally. Like I haven't like forced it. And to be honest, and people know this, when I was at college, I looked down on people with long hair.
Did you?
I used to be like, fuck that guy with long hair.
Man buns.
Yeah.
Get them out of here.
Yeah. But no, I hate man buns. But I've got to have them because sometimes like.
Oh yeah, because it's going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Like if I'm going for a run, you know, the man buns go up.
I remember last time I went on a run.
Did you do anything about?
I don't think I've ever done any fucking sporting activities in my entire life.
What about school?
Oh no, I did football to be fair, but I played for like school team for like the tiniest bit. But like our coach,
is this Bobby FC?
No, it was in primary school, so it was a long time ago.
What school did you go to in primary school?
Bobby Central. You know, a bit nicer than the other ones, but I'll not get into that.
Yeah.
But no, but like doing it, the guy who was our coach, his son were on the team, and every time we had a match, he just made his son MVP every time. And I was just like, it's crap.
Don't you think those games are really weird then? Because it's like all the dads take it so serious.
It's like he just was doing it to put his son up. That's how I felt. Like he didn't give a crap. I always remember this one game we had, and person in net saved about 5 to 7 goals or something like that. Like he proper sweated it out, and he just gave his son MVP again, and we're all just like, we didn't really do well.
Corruption at early stage.
Yeah, literally. Like, get him in early.
But they think it's always weird when the dads are just stood there, just shouting,
screaming,
as if their kids are like pro players.
Yeah.
Like,
see, I'd never understand that.
No, that's why I didn't really stop playing till I was like 12. Because I was terrified.
See, I'm not massively into football. I don't mind playing it. I like playing it more than like watching it. You know, like obviously England and all that's going off now, Euros and that. I don't watch it. To be honest, it's, you know, I don't really get any enjoyment out of it personally. I'll still be all like want England to win, obviously, but I can't sit there and watch it.
If I was to like ask you for like a 5-a-side, would you say yes?
Probably. See, I enjoy playing it. That's my thing. I like playing it. I don't like watching it. I'd rather play it than watch it.
I love playing it. Yeah. I haven't played it in such a long time.
I haven't played it in ages
I'm just trying to get like a 5-side game. I was thinking of asking people here.
Yeah.
See who we can get.
Yeah, it'd be not bad. It'd be something, yeah.
Would you be down for that?
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
We could ask Lewis and David.
Yeah, what did they say?
Did they play? Or?
Lewis is quite good, to be fair. Lewis has got a good touch. See, weirdly though, I've never met David.
Well, I think David's the one who referenced Jeff Hardy. So if he referenced Jeff Hardy, I reckon he's probably played football.
He probably, yeah. Lewis does watch it and that. I think he supports Liverpool, I think. I've just exposed him now, haven't I? Yeah, no, Lewis is quite good. He's got a good touch, to be fair, like on ball. You know, he's weirdly puts no effort in and he'll just get it in there.
They're the best players now.
Yeah.
Like holding midfielder.
Yeah, he just puts no effort in and he'll get it in there. And all we're doing is just messing about, like, you know, we're not.
There's a guy at my school called Lewis.
Yeah.
And he never had the right kit, so he always played in like, what do you call them, the shit kicker shoes.
Yeah,
he always played in them, and he was so terrible. But what happened if you could pass him the ball in the middle of the pitch, he would just hit it as hard as he could. It would always go in.
Oh,
like he just had a great shot, and all the other game wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't pass, he couldn't like, he'd get away from me. He had no control, no dribbling, but the shot, lethal.
See, fucking football. It just reminds me of secondary school, because like our school in secondary school, like every 5 minutes it felt like it. Well, every 5 minutes it was changing nearly every teacher in the school and changing its name. It was like a chameleon school.
Is that because it's not doing very well?
Yeah, it started going well, and then it was just stuck in some hiatus of constantly being bad and good. Constantly getting funding, but then they do something, but it goes nowhere, and then everything's back to normal again. It was just this endless cycle of being at school, just being like messed about, really. Like I never learned anything. I don't actually think.
That's the same as me. I had like one really good teacher, like my English teacher. So
same, yeah.
That's why I did. I think that's actually why I got into like writing and shit like that. Cause I had like a good.
Yeah, I had the same one every single year, apart from 1 year in secondary school.
Do you have the set system?
Yeah. I were in set 1 for most things. Well, I were in set one for everything, to be honest, which I didn't get because I weren't that good. Like, in all honesty, like especially maths, like I was crap at that. But
can you do a test?
not really. That's what I mean. English, like we're all right. I was fine with that. But like more than likely, the only reason like you'd never learn anything is because everyone else in the class just destroying everything constantly. Like our
So it's
class,
like disruptive year.
yeah. Well, just school in general. Our class got banned from doing science experiments for the past like 3 years of school.
That reminds me of my first. This is seriously my second day. My second day in year 7. You know, when you first get there.
Yeah.
We was like doing some of the Bunsen burners, and I was with the boys.
Yeah.
And we started piling all the shit on top of each other, the tripods and shit. And it all collapsed and
Oh.
set the table on fire. It was one of those like fireproof tables, so it got put out easy. But I remember in the third day we had to explain in front of the whole assembly why we had set a table on fire. So that was my introduction to secondary school.
Hi guys, I'm an arsonist. No, ours it weren't necessarily a thing of messing about. It's everyone was just doing stuff to just cause chaos. It's like everyone would just be smashing things just for the fact of smashing it.
Smashing
like,
what?
Just everything.
Just like
anything.
Simpsons.
Anything. Vials, then like tubes, smash it. Bunsen burners, throw them on floor, rip tubes out. Like just everyone would go crazy all the time.
ADHD.
Literally throw stuff across classrooms. Grapes would be flying all over the place.
I'm picturing like the teachers just done. The teachers just
yeah,
done
all the
like,
teachers probably went home, ate their lives. Do you know what I mean? Like you could see it in half of them that they had no soul left.
Yeah.
Like they were just going through it day by day, and like I said, like we had a constant like revolving door of teachers at that school. Like there were only a select few of teachers that I were actually there from when I started and finished. Like and like less than a handful of like people, because like not only that, like I know it sounds weird, but the kids would bully them out of school.
The kids bully the teachers.
Kids would bully the teachers out of school. We had this one teacher, I'll not say his name, like, but his daughter was like around about our age and was in a different school, and people kept like saying stuff about his daughter, and like we were in class once, the last class he did, and he just started crying and left.
What, the teacher?
Yeah.
I think that actually happened to me once. I think I always thought it was something happening at home now. But that was like a student bullying.
Yeah, it was just this constant like berating, like got off everyone.
I don't think teachers get paid much anymore, do they?
Especially not at that school, they don't get paid enough.
Well, legally they're not really allowed to do anything to you either.
No.
That's what probably kills them.
Yeah.
They can't just grab me and say shut the fuck up.
Yeah, can't.
Yeah.
Dickhead.
Like, do you know when like people start fighting in the classroom and you're like, why don't
Can't even break them up.
But
Can't even put your hands on them around.
You're not allowed to stop them.
Yeah, but is that just now or back then? 'Cause I feel like
Back then, yeah. No, it was back then.
Like even in my day, like I saw a teacher throw not chalk. What's the?
I know what you mean. The duster thing or whatever.
It.
Yeah.
He threw that at somebody. Didn't actually hit them. He just threw it behind them.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
They do break out then, occasionally, but like sometimes the kids are like,
yeah.
Oh, sort of deserve that one. I think the kids can't really say, oh, but you tried to hit me. It's like, well, what do you do?
Yeah. Well, what did you do to warrant it?
I feel sorry for women teachers because they just get sexualized. Like if it was like quite an attractive like teacher and she turned around.
To be fair, like
yeah.
I remember a lot of the girls in my year and stuff always sexualised a lot of the guy teachers as well.
Yeah, that was the thing. I don't want.
Mr. So and so's fit.
I don't remember the name of the guy. And it's probably good, but a guy got struck off in my school. It's in all the papers because he got caught. No, I think a student had sent him a letter, and he didn't report it, and he just sort of sat on it, and then she went and boasted that there was having like some like thing,
and
then,
he still got this letter.
Yeah, and the thing is, I remember him. He was a really good looking guy.
Right.
Like if you can picture the best looking guy ever, that's what he looked like, and he looked like a proper teacher. He had like the waistcoat and everything. But he had like this little creepy edge to him, and that's why it was believable. There was like a slight bit of believability. Like so that's why.
I could totally believe that. One of our teachers, while in year 7, didn't even get halfway through 7. He got fired for getting a bit frisky for one at sixth formers.
Really?
Yeah, he just started work there as well. Used to be a student there as well, so I already knew her.
Shit.
Yeah. He were a mental head case. He were in PE though. He'd like take his shoes off and smash them into the wall, kick chairs over and stuff. We'd go and be quiet.
Well, it might be libelous, but all the PE teachers I had were a little unhinged.
See, weirdly, like apart from him, ours were fine. Ours were like proper like
Did you have like?
somewhat lads. Do you know what I mean?
Did you have like one department was what was like a little weird?
Science.
Science for you.
Science every time. Like can't think of one that weren't a bit extra. Can't think of one.
I remember this guy was showing us how to put. I don't know. He was showing us how to put like a plant in a hole, and he kept pushing the soil down in the plant pot, and he kept going. So you put your finger in the moist hole, and we're all laughing, and he doesn't get what's funny. And he just keeps doing it, and then he had a bit of a lisp anyway. So he's like, "Boys, get out!" And all we could hear was just him going, "Just put your finger in the moist hole." And I was just like, just a little bit of self-awareness, maybe.
To me, our best. To me, I can only really speak of my best teachers were definitely the ones in English, and definitely the ones in art. Were like the most down to earth kind of people, and they seem to they seem to like kind of understand the school as a whole more and not let it get to them as much.
The art teachers are the ones that tell you about the corruption of the school.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Especially me being in sixth form, there were only. I mean, to put it this way, obviously, I'm saying how bad my school were going. In my sixth form, it was basically just people from my class, and that were it. That was the whole year of sixth form. Like no one was joining it. There was that little people joining it. The next year, they stopped doing it.
So you came from like the small sixth.
Basically, the last year of the sixth form.
Yeah, that was a bit like me. I had like the second years of sixth form there. There's quite a few of them, but then like people actually went up from like my year, hardly any.
Yeah.
But I only went because I didn't do very well in my GCSEs, and I wanted to I wanted to improve. And I also some of my mates were doing it, so I was like, I just didn't know what to do with life. I was like, I was being all cocky when I left secondary school. I remember getting my tie and throwing it in the bush, and then I just stopped and I was like, all right, now what do I do? Like, can somebody guide me, please? That's why I went back.
Yeah, I went there because to that one because it's not that far from me, and I was like, you know, you need to either go college or summit. So I was like, I'll just go there because it's easy. Do you know what I mean? Well, I figure out kind of what I want to do, and even going there, I still didn't figure out what I wanted to do until I went college.
So what age do you like work out what you want to do?
Like when I went college after I finished sixth form, I was like, right, I already had like a crappy job at that point, and I was like, I don't want to do this.
A good crappy job what gives you morals, or a bad crappy job?
Just a bad crappy job because it was just catering.
I don't mind catering though.
I hate it. Well,
both my parents were like shit.
They were very busy, and like you got thrown about multiple venues.
Catering in what? Like what venue are we talking?
Dome.
Interesting. Like the
leisure centre.
Like the bar, like the food.
All of it. See that it's a company that own.
So it's like we jump from bit to bit.
Do you know Leopard over there?
Yeah.
They own that as well. I'm at work on there on Friday.
Really?
Yeah. That's what they own. Loads of random things. So like you'd be all over the place. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd mainly be at Dome, but I'd either be over there or I could be in Cantley or something like that.
Yeah, I used to do things like in Bawtry. There's a similar thing where some of the bars own each other and they'll pass staff about.
Yeah. But like. Because it's like, I don't want to badmouth it, but...
No, badmouth, you don't like it.
You know, it just seems like they don't really know what they're doing with it. It's like, for example, I think a lot of the things that they were doing there are just unfair. For example, one of the guys that had worked there for ages, like, he actually never worked in, like, he didn't work in catering, he worked on, like, maintenance. They made his job redundant, so then he got put on catering.
Just, like, through COVID, or just, like...
no, this is, way back. A few years ago. So he went on to catering, started absolutely going above and beyond, doing bare shifts for him, and, like, specifically working on this one thing all the time, basically having no time to himself. The other guy that were on with him, even though he lived near to the Dome, they were like, oh, we're moving you somewhere else. Didn't have a car or anything like that, and they were just like, yeah, you go in there now, you're not coming back here. Just out of nowhere.
Just announced to him.
Just out of nowhere, yeah. And he was just like, well, now I'm going to have to get my daughter to drive me to work and all this kind of stuff, or I'm going to have to pay however much for bus. And then, so in doing that, they moved him over there, but didn't get anyone to replace him. So then he was basically one person down all the time. And then on top of that, this one day, there were no one else on shift, so he was literally by himself. And on the venue he's on, he's got a front desk where people come in to the play zone. He's got the actual bit in the play zone where people buy stuff, he's got food that he's got to make in the back as well, like pizzas, burgers,
all by
and all
himself?
this. All by himself. And
me.
in the kitchen as well, so he can't even get 2 seconds to himself. There's a window in it where he has to make slushies and drinks and chips for everyone on the ice skating.
I bet customers have been dicks.
Yeah, on every side, right? And he was like, I can't get hold of anyone to come down and help me because I'm like having a massive rush. So he pulled out his phone and he rang someone on the bar. And one of the management walked over and went, nah, you can't be doing that. Like, and basically just fired him on spot because he was asking for help. Like, just loads of stuff like that.
I believe it.
I
mean,
ridiculous.
I've been lucky because both my parents like were chefs, and then so it's sort of in me to work in like a kitchen. I've always usually worked in good kitchens where they've just got quite a good work ethic. And there's no. But I have worked in some horrific kitchens. That just reminds me when I worked at Subway, and you would just be rushed off your feet. So we understaffed, so it would just be me.
Yeah.
And the queue would be 200 feet, no joking.
Yeah.
And there's a pressure to get it right. So you just like, I mean, I in the end I didn't really care. But the first year when I was there, I was just terrified of trying to get it right. And the queue's moving slow. I can see people behind tutting, and like. The cookies what need to come out, and there's bread what needs to come out. I need to wash things in the back, and
you don't understand that you can't do it by yourself either.
And I've got a social life. I know people don't value social life in this environment,
don't.
But I had shit going on.
They just look at you as if you're a drone.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, I actually loved it because what happens is I became insane. No, genuinely, I just became mad through it, and when I look back at it now, I realise how bad that job was.
Yeah.
But it went to my head. So because I was so rapid at it in the end, I genuinely thought I was a boss.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah,
I just there's something about it. I was like, if I don't do anything else in my life, I can say I've just smashed these 200 people.
Just go into conveyor belt mode, don't you?
Yeah, and that's what I like as well. Cause like when like a new staff would come in, like when you compared me to them, like they would spend an hour serving 10 people, and I would spend like 2 minutes.
Bish bash bosh.
I quite like that, but then at the same time, there's no ladder. You can't get any higher up.
Yeah.
Like, if there was like a system in place where you could like in a proper kitchen, like a proper restaurant, you can fight for head chef.
You can be seen as well, can't you? Doing all these things. Whereas there, it's it's just fast food, isn't?
Nobody.
I mean, what the maximum you could probably get to is be the manager of that shop, and that's about it. Isn't it?
Well, I reckon with like a bit more time, I could have got there.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't going to put that time in. Because there's too much. There's always like a middle manager who's making my life hell. Because I took massive shortcuts. I always like, say if we finished at 10 at night, I could get us finished at 9:20. Right? But I'd have to take mad shortcuts for that. I had like this system where there were like these trays where you put underneath the thing that you serve on, so all the food drops into it. I would take them out and wash them as soon as the night started, and I'd put paper. So any Subway staff listen to this, I put paper underneath, so when all the food dropped there, I'll just wrap it up and put it in the bin.
Just think, work harder, not. No, I can't even say it.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So
work smart, not harder.
I had millions of hacks like that. Like sometimes I'll get in 20 minutes early just so I could cook loads of cookies off.
Yeah.
And quickly bag them.
No, I understand that. A few shifts I'd come in when I knew like a event, with being Dome, like they'd have like little Comic-Con things on, or they'd have wrestling on, or whatever. Like they always.
I remember wrestling at a Dome.
Yeah. They always host events. To be fair, one good thing about there is like, say if you're working on events, you basically just get to watch it for free. It's just like. There's obviously just the mad rush in between.
You have to go like 10 minutes before it all comes.
Yeah. A lot of the time, you either help set it up, and then you go on to like the function bar that's there, or like a little stall or something that they've set up. But sometimes though, they bring their own staff. But I never like when they do that, because you've got to watch them, because quite a lot of the times they just steal money. Because obviously they don't work there, you're not going to know who it is.
That happened when I first started at Subway.
Yeah.
There was so much money just going missing from the safe. They did safe counts, but there was always like 50 quid down.
Yeah, something like that.
That happens a lot, doesn't it? But to be fair, it's like sometimes they don't tip the waiters, and then the waiters just take it into their own hands, which I sometimes think is fair enough, to be honest.
Yeah. Especially a lot of people live off it as well, don't they?
Well,
tips
I've seen like... I used to work in quite a fancy place, like 5-star, and I hated it in the end because it was just too pristine. It wasn't really like me. And I've seen this guy reckons he's like a Gordon Ramsay type top guy. And I've seen him take somebody's tip out the out somebody's like a customer gave this
Yeah.
girl a tip, and then he just took it. And I
Wow.
was just like, can you do? Well, obviously, you can do that, but
Yeah, but it's just not right, though, is it? See, you don't want to be working for someone like that either, do you?
No.
Like, people like that, you look at them, you're like, oh.
Well, that's the thing. I had no beef with this guy, but when
Yeah.
he did that, he just put me off of him, and that's what
Mm.
you don't understand. It's just bad leadership.
Yeah,
Because
literally.
I was thinking, well, he could do the same to me,
Yeah, exactly.
and he
Like,
did.
he's
He
willing
did.
to throw random people under the bus. That's what a lot of it is.
It's one of those places where, like, if you made a mistake, you got in trouble.
Yeah.
So I made my first mistake, and then after that, I just made 15 more mistakes. I lost my confidence.
Mm. It's like a cascade, isn't it?
But in like a proper kitchen, like if you're fucking up, usually it's a good thing. They
Yeah.
just tell you to put. You know, like Gordon Ramsay just tells you to get
It's
a
like,
grip.
just, do it again. Do you know what I mean? There's no.
But then there's the other manager who we'll fight you, or we'll have like
Yeah.
a word with you.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of I don't know what it is working in catering. See, for me, the only thing that actually kind of got me going back there, and like kind of was like, yeah, it's actually worth working here, was not even the money, to be fair, because just minimum wage and age I was working at that time. That weren't really worth it, in all honesty. But it were the people.
Yeah.
It's like you know, a lot of places you get some kind of small family feeling
it's like
going,
a band,
don't
isn't
you?
it?
Yeah.
And you'll protect each other and cover each other as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and that was quite nice. Especially when, like, say other people had come in or other people would do stuff. Like I never went in there to make enemies or anything like that. Like I'm not that kind of person. Like I always just try and have a laugh with everyone and that, get to know them, just try and have a laugh all shift, because what else can you do really? There's no point standing in silence being miserable all day, is there? So we sit there and we'll have a laugh and a joke as we're doing it, but like, there'd be certain situations where other people would come in and then it'd literally be a case of, if they didn't have your back, if we didn't have that kind of family feel going off between all people, you'd been screwed. Like, would have just been straight up screwed.
Well, like my second year before I left Subway, like I had it down. Like we all protected each other. Like if we like needed to, because in the end, basically, I'll be like senior staff, and all the senior staff were burnt out for like the 2 years, and the younger staff would cover for us. I really appreciate it like that.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I mean.
I remember like once, and I actually went out with Peter and I think my girlfriend at the time, and then we went to this pub, and I never ever got to let my hair down on that job.
Yeah.
And I just decided to fuck it, because I was 2 weeks and I'd be leaving anyway.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm just gonna get seshed, even though I was on the 4 a.m. shift.
Yeah.
And I went home, had an hour's sleep, and I went to work, and that was the worst thing I've ever done. I've never felt so bad in my life.
Yeah,
I was about to throw up in the bin. My mouth just tasted of anesthesia. It was horrible.
Oh.
But anyway, I rang some of the younger staff. They didn't come through for me in the end, but because they couldn't, to be fair to them.
Yeah.
It was 4 a.m. in the morning. There's only one person who could do that shift, and but yeah, I still remember them sending me like nice texts, like keeping me going.
Yeah, that's another thing. Well, I say that like that were my thing with the at my work. It basically ran off casual staff. So like you'd have your bar, cafe, for example, and player zone. And you'd have maybe 1 or 2 people who were like contracted staff on there, who normally work there quite a while, and then but everyone else on shift would be like, see, I could see what they were doing. And it's quite a smart business thing to do, to be fair, but in doing so, it creates a lot of problems, because obviously the people they're hiring were people just coming out of school, like 16, 17, so they pay them the least amount of
It's
money.
like $4.50, isn't it?
Yeah, like they literally can pay them like nothing to work like 8-hour shifts and stuff like that. Like, I know like a lot of the shifts, like, see, I know like it's law, you're a certain age, you're not allowed to work after a certain time or whatever, but I know a lot of people do. Do you know what I mean? Even though you're not supposed to, I know a lot of people do. And
yeah, some people start serving at 14. I know, I should put that out there. But
Yeah.
I've known bartenders, like landlords, that are like, just serve, nobody else can do it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's a lot of stuff like that, which you in that moment, you're like, oh, sick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the more that you look at it, you're like, yeah, I shouldn't have been doing that. But
I just remember the first time that happened to me. I shouldn't really say this, but I was underage,
yeah.
and the guy was like, "You can pull a pint, can't you?" And I was like, I just jumped on the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I nearly took off on the spot.
Yeah.
It went terribly. But
Oh no, mine was the same. But well, my first shift was well, I applied to work exclusively in the dome, but my first shift was in Cantley in a bar, and oh god, I didn't say this right. I messed up right, but right, I don't know why places got to be fancy. So instead of having plates, if anyone ordered food, they'd give you food on a slab of wood.
I hate when people
right,
try
and
to
it's
do
heavy.
Like that.
It's that thick, right, and it's heavy as hell, right, and you know you've got it in one hand and you've got the other things in your other hand, right.
But did they make you carry two things?
Yeah, it's just, honestly, and because they were trying to look as if it was like some more fine dining thing, but it was basically a tapas bar. So I just didn't get it. I really didn't understand what it was trying to do. So it was like a tapas bar, but it were like. But we're trying to do fine dining at the same time.
Yeah, pick and choose, isn't it?
Yeah, and so I'm there. But like every dish, no matter what you ordered, and again, I don't get why this was a thing because I don't know why you'd want it. Every dish on the slab, it came with a little plant pot with about 3 sticks of frigging lettuce in it with mayo sprayed on it, and like that was like a garnish. That was on everything, right? And it's not stuck down or anything. It's this tiny little plant pot like that. It's got mayo all over it. And I walked past, and this woman's coat was sticking out. And I like kind of tripped over it a little bit. But I went, oh, and I caught all the things, and I put the food down. I went, oh, nice. Turned around, I put the food down. As I turned around, I noticed that the little plant pot weren't there. I was like, what?
Oh, shit.
I looked, and it'd fallen down the sleeve of her coat.
What did you do?
Nothing. I didn't say out, and I just walked back, and she didn't come up and say out. So I don't even think she put her coat back on. I think she wrapped it up in her arm and then left because it was quite a sunny day.
That reminds me, I nearly dropped the beer on a guy's head. I never thought that was even possible.
Yeah.
I was just carrying the tray with the beer on it, and this guy bent down to tie his shoelace, something like that. I was serving the table, slipped off the thing. Ooh. The guy just got up just in time. He just missed it by a millimetre and just smashed on the floor. I was like, I don't think it would kill him.
Oh, but it hurt. It definitely hurt.
But I don't know how to explain that. Because you're just thinking that, you know, when you're like doing a job like that, you've got to keep some level of professionalism. Yeah. Just because everybody's watching you. And then if you make a massive... You know, like if you drop a glass and everybody starts clapping. Yeah. It shatters your confidence a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
You're just like, well, can you not do that, please?
Yeah. See, weirdly, I got to a point... See, well, like I was saying to you, I kind of, for the longest time, didn't feel like just randomly, you know, confident talking to people as much. Like... I know, obviously, me just coming and meeting you today, you probably sounds like I'm chatting shit, doesn't it? But like, obviously, I never used to be like that. But I'll give it, to be fair. And weirdly, I'd say, I think it's something. You know, if you just leave school, I would say definitely get like an immediate job, like in somewhere crap, because then you learn like everything about every walk of life. You know, people. You know, because everyone will come into McDonald's, won't they? Do you know what I mean? You'll learn how to handle stressful situations in a job because they are literally one of the most stressful places. But at the end of the day, if you do that as soon as you come out of school, you don't have to stay there either. No. Do you know what I mean? I think if you get that experience in somewhere manic, you'll fully like understand how like a workplace works, especially when it comes to dealing with customers of all varieties and, you know, levels of anger that they have towards you at that moment in time.
No, I totally agree. Because when I first ever dealt with like an angry customer, I just shut down on the spot.
You don't know what to do you?
But then if you jump cut to around like 22 working at Subway, I just told them to fuck off basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I just like, whatever, go away.
Like I'll always remember this time. We used to on cafe before we changed to these little buzzer things. We used to have table numbers, but it'd be like, you know, like a metal thing, and then it'd have a plastic printed out thing that you just stick in top. Yeah. And like kids would always come and they'd change 6 to 9 and stuff like that, and no one would pick up the right frigging number and stuff. And I remember I did this order for the guy, I made it to him, brought it out to him. He was like, oh yeah, sick. Thought it were a bit weird, because it was just one guy by himself, and it were quite a lot of food. But I didn't question it, because, you know, sometimes people are hungry, you know. And so I went back, and I do this other order, and as I'm taking it out, these people go, I think you've gave our order to him. And I go, what's your table number? And they tell me, and I go, oh, that's why, because your kids turned it round. Like, And they're like, oh, yeah, we know. And I was like,
Alright, thanks for telling me.
okay then. I was like, oh, sorry about that. I'll remake yours. I'll just make yours again from scratch. And I was like, I had this in my hand, the other order, and I thought, do you know what, I'll just go give it to that guy, because why not? You can have that as well, since that's what he ordered. Passed it to him. He went, what's that? I went, oh, sorry, you can still eat what you're eating, because obviously you've touched it, but this is your actual order. I thought I'd just give you it as well, you know, if you want it or not. If you don't, I'll just take it in bin. And he went, so this isn't my order here? And I went, no. And he started getting up and, like, screaming at me.
I can actually see this. Cause,
do you know what I mean?
I think I've had this before.
Yeah, and, like, he started yelling, like, oh, you're fucking shit, giving me wrong order and all that. And he walked off, and then he came back again to, like, berate me even more. And I was just like, if anything, I've sorted you out more here. What's your problem? And the people who actually got screwed over didn't care.
I remember, like, how did you deal in that situation? I remember when this dude...
Sure, like, I don't want to be that guy, but, like, it's so frustrating. It's your order, why didn't you tell me
exactly.
it wasn't your order?
Do you know what I mean? Like, I
He
brought
messed
it
up
to
himself.
him. It was completely different what he had. Like I said, I gave him way more than he ordered, because I can't actually remember what he ordered. He ordered a medium-sized hot dog. He asked for mustard on it. He asked for small chips, but he didn't ask for, like, nuggets or any extra things like that. That's what he actually ordered. But I gave him, like, it were like 2 hot dogs. It were like a couple, like, nuggets, you know, for, like, the kid that were there, kind of thing, and, like, 3 bags of chips or something like that. And I was just thinking that's a bit weird, but, like, I'll just get him anyway, do you know what I mean? Because you never know, you know what I mean? I've thought it sometimes, like, Jesus, you're eating a lot, but, you know, don't judge what they've bought, innit? I'm not going to knock it.
But how do you deal with that?
But I was just like, look, mate, like, this is your order, like, either take it or you don't, do you know what I mean? There's food there that you've already started eating, you can't turn around to me and ask for a refund or anything like that now, because, 1, what you've ordered's here, and 2, you've had extra. And he was just like, blah blah blah. He was just chatting crap and just just flailing his arms, doing that old shtick.
It sounds like me.
this dude at Subway asked for every single sauce to be on the sandwich.
Right.
So I told him, don't do it. It's not going to work. It's going to be a mess. So he opened it. I made the purchase, and he opened it in front of me, and he basically said, "This is the shittest thing I've ever seen." Picked it up, threw it at me, right?
Wow.
I just snapped. So I jumped over the counter, right?
Yeah.
And this woman obviously saw what happened.
Yeah.
And she jumped in front to stop me. And I don't know, it's that thing when you just, when you see somebody calm.
Yeah.
I just saw her eyes and it just calmed me down.
Yeah.
I could see she was normal. And generally, I think I'd have punched the guy.
Yeah.
And I think if she hadn't done that, I generally think today I'd
See,
been
but
fired.
it's like...
Not just that, DBS as well, 'cause it's in the airport.
Yeah.
So I reckon that
Really?
could have gone criminal.
Yeah. Proper. That could have gone really bad.
Sorry about ordering those sauces.
It's Peter again.
The sauce, man. No, but honestly, I just don't know what, like, drives some people to be like that.
I think it's because they have a miserable life, and when they see
and
somebody
they just
else,
have to take it out on someone else, because you as well, in that catering thing, you're young, you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
They know you're not going to stand up for yourself, because you're not, are you?
Yeah,
like,
You're
you
scared
know,
of
even if
authority.
you think you are, more than likely you're not, because you're at your job, you don't want to do it wrong, and even if you're in a bad situation, yeah, exactly. Like, you don't want to do it, so you just sit there and take it half the time. But, like, things like that, like, I'm not surprised. Do you know what I mean? I'm not surprised you got to. I've had people, like, frigging coming round and threatening. I've had people I took the bins out once, right, and I came back round, and there were a guy, and he had half his leg over the counter, and I'm like, "You alright, mate?" And he was like, "Oh."
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like,
he had half his leg over the counter.
well, like climbing over
The counter, and I was just like, "You're right, mate." And I'm like, "Oh, sorry. I dropped a pouch of baccy in here earlier. I just thought it might be round here." And I was like, "It's not." I was like, "It's not. I can tell you it's not." And why would it be in there? At that point, like, because we'd shot, weirdly at that point, I kind of lose the professionalism a little bit.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Last hour, when you go home, you just like you turn. You're to
just
a bit
like, you know what, like, you know, you do my head in now. But he was just like, sorry, and then walked off. I was just like, Jesus.
Peter cameos
I
everywhere.
thought I recognised them shoes. Another time, I'll tell you what, another thing, just as a side note that was quite funny, I had quite a good mate at that work called Glenn, who, I don't know if he's still there, but he did the cooking, and I were on shift with him, and it were like a carvery on, so I was just doing pot wash all day. And we were having a laugh all day, and we took bins out, right? We took the bins out, and we see this guy, this like proper old guy, he's got these 2 massive bags in his hand, he's sprinting like that away from bins, and we look at him, we're like, that's funny that. And then we walk back into work and they go, oh, we see everyone like going mental. We're like, what's going on? Like, someone just broke into beer thing and stole like so many like bottles of wine and stuff like that. Like, we don't know where it's gone. We think he run out at back.
I'm
Me
picturing
and Glenn
like,
just looked at each other like, oh, and we could have stopped him.
I'm picturing just like really cheap bags as well.
No, it weren't really cheap bags. It were like 3 Tesco bags, you know, like all thingy together, so they'd be like strong. It was just proper. It was funny though.
That one was there.
That one was on me.
It's funny how we were running.
Yeah, but the amount of shit what does get stolen in these jobs, I've had so much stuff stolen in front of me.
Yeah.
I had a bottle of wine stolen in front of me. We used to put wine on the front of the thing to like showcase it, and this guy just stole it, and I just stood there just like, yeah, I just let him do it. Like, I can't.
Sometimes,
I don't get paid enough.
Yeah, sometimes you're just like, no. It's like there was this one time, it weren't stealing like, but basically we sold slushes there, and it was like a small one, a big one, and then you know them big like bone things that you can get, right? But the thing is, the way it makes it sound as if you buy the bone one, you get free refill because it says refillable, but you don't actually. You have to pay for the refill.
Really?
Yeah, it's stupid. Like, I don't particularly like the idea of that because it's expensive as is, you know what I
bet
mean?
you get like a lot of complaints as well. Like,
yeah. It's, like, honestly, the things there, like the wording and the pricing of things, if anything, was the cause of most of the problems, because it was like lowest grade things marked up at the highest, you know, thing to make the most profit. That's literally what it was. But I remember this kid, and he didn't have any money or out, and he was like, can I have a refill on slush? And I looked about at everyone else on the shift, and they were like doing stuff, and I'm like, yeah, go on. Like, you're supposed to pay for it, but I'll just give him it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
certain things like that, I just, you know, feel sorry for him or whatever, or it's like, you know what, I'll just do it.
Yeah. Well, if it's manager cash, just do that. That's actually a job now, isn't
it? Once this homeless guy came in, and I felt a bit bad because you know, like, he's homeless, he's not like been anywhere to wash himself in quite a while, so he smelt a bit, and he got asked to leave because of it, and I felt a bit bad. And as he were leaving, I just gave him some chips. I mean, I couldn't really give him much, but I was like, oh, here you go, mate, just take them if you want, you know. So if you're like, like proper, you know, like grateful about it, because everyone else were just like, oh, you know, like just stinky homeless person.
Well,
in here.
that's what's wrong with society now. People just need to like. I remember this woman came in. It was the day end of the shift, and her phone had died. She was like Polish, she didn't speak any English.
Yeah.
So I was giving her my phone. Like, she did look a bit shifty, so I was a bit at first like, is she gonna nick my phone?
Yeah.
But I gave it her, and she was just panicking and it was kicking off because something had happened. She couldn't get a taxi, something. I don't think she had any money, and like she was translating to me as well through like that app.
Yeah.
And then my manager just came in at the same time. Like, I don't know why, he just turned up at like 9 o'clock on like a Friday when he's usually watching football or something. And he just started saying, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm just helping this woman." And then he's like, "Yeah, but you should be doing your job." I'm like, there's
like,
nobody about.
But on top of that, isn't that you doing your job though? Because you're supposed to be helping these people. You know, really, aren't you? Like, in your shop, you're supposed to take care of them, aren't you?
That was my argument. But you know what he actually said? He said, "Well, she's not going to put any money in, is she?" I was like, "But that's not really it." And this is actually what's really interesting, and this is why. I mean, we were talking about this yesterday. If we believe there is something to the universe, it's some divine thing. But I have been in a foreign country.
Yeah.
My phone's died, and I really need it for my boarding pass. I've asked some random person in like a fast food. They didn't speak in English, but I managed to translate, and they've let me charge my phone to get my boarding pass. So somebody did that to me after I helped that woman. So
Yeah.
I was like, you know what I mean?
So I mean, do good things happen to you.
Well, no, you're gonna need at some point in your life,
Yeah.
you're gonna need the kindness of strangers
Yeah, exactly.
to help you.
You know, like I think people going about thinking that, you know, living in the bubble, it's, you know, like you can't, can you? You literally can't. To like actually function in life, go about and do stuff, you can't just. You need to. You know what I'm saying, don't you? I can't put it in words.
But it's just like small things. Well, if people give you like a ticket because like they've parked the car, they've gone shopping, they've only used an hour and they've got an hour left, and they give it to you. Just stuff like that. I'm like that's decent.
Yeah.
I mean.
Or like a lot of the times, my mum would always do this. Like if she'd always buy a day saver, going to work, she'd just get it to, you know, as soon as she comes home to work, if there's anyone and it's just getting off bus, she just, oh, do you want that? It's day saver. They go, oh yeah.
But it's those values that I miss. I mean.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think's missing from a lot of things.
But back in the day, people used to be able to hitchhike. I love that idea.
Oh, nowadays.
No chance.
No, not chance.
Well, no, you probably could. It probably turned out alright, but you just can't.
Yeah. Like no.
No.
See,
especially if you're female.
There's just a lot more. I don't know what it is. There's just a lot more madder heads about, isn't there?
Have you seen how many stings there are now? You know, like stings where it's like a
oh, they get some. Yeah.
There's like every day.
Ridiculous.
There's just like 50 new ones.
Yeah.
It's just like, and some of them are people you just don't expect. With like, some of them are quite decent looking guys. I know it doesn't mean anything.
Oh yeah.
But it's just.
But to be fair, see, that's what it is though. They'll use that, won't they?
Yeah.
They'll use that to then get whatever, and it's bad. It's like. That's what I mean. I feel like, weirdly, see, and I'm not blaming this on anything per se, but like, I feel like, obviously, like we were saying earlier, you know, like, there's a massive disconnect between elderly and young people. But, like, the main reason for that, I think, is because of, one, how the young people act, which then is going back on how they've kind of been brought up compared to how they've been brought up, because more than likely a lot of them have been brought up in a nuclear family, aren't they? You know, they've got mum, dad, probably about, you know, a couple of brothers or sisters or something like that. It's like, for example, my granddad had like 17 brothers and sisters. Ridiculous, do you know what I mean? But he's like only one left now. So, you know, being in a full-on family, I think, does have its advantages. I'm not saying you can. I'm not saying that. You know, you can be in a family. Child? No, I've got a sister. Me. That's what I mean. I've got. You know, I live in a household with my mum, dad, and my sister. Do you know what I mean? Basic like nuclear family kind of thing. I'm not saying that you can, you know, say not have a dad or a mum and, you know, just live with one parent and it not work. But I definitely think there's a shift in. What am I trying to? The word. Like the
shift in the culture.
Yeah, and like the mentality towards upbringing of kids, I suppose, because like you go from like the elderly generation, and then I suppose you've got, you know, people 80s, 90s particularly is when a lot of stuff started changing like radically. You know, you had, well, you just look at what they were wearing, for example. Do you know what I mean? And you know, a lot more like there were higher rise in people like getting divorced, because for a lot of people unheard of. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know,
like my grandma's generation, nobody gets divorced.
Yeah, exactly.
60 years they're together.
Unheard of, innit?
Yeah,
unheard of.
But I kind of like that.
Yeah, so do I. But you know, so then there's a lot more like, and I don't necessarily want to use this term because, like I say, it doesn't apply to everyone. But there's a lot more like broken families, I suppose. Yeah. You know, like a lot more people are separated, and you know, say someone lives over there, but you know, they're all over the place. And I don't know, with the rise in like attitudes, it seems like people just care less. Like I said other day, when I started in year 7, obviously my year weren't great, but compared to the years that were coming up, ripping toilets out at floor and smashing them against walls, setting things on fire, smashing windows and stuff like that, we were nothing compared to them. Do you know what I mean? And that was every year, and that were the year 7s. That weren't even the older kids, which you'd probably expect it from, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
that were the year 7s, not even.
It is scary when you see year 7 selling weed as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're 12. What are you doing? Where have you got that?
Yeah.
Like,
I do think I'm
ridiculous.
lucky I was like part of that last generation who's still a bit of a childhood. I'm not saying that I have childhoods now,
Yeah.
but I still had a decent where we'd go out and just
Yeah,
chill. And
there's definitely a thing of there's a lot more people. No, I'm not saying I don't like video games, but there's a lot more thing of people just seem to not go outside more now.
But there is a weird shift in, like, because where I live, like, there's this wall. I always used to
Yeah.
kick my football against the wall, and now there's girls kicking the football against the wall.
Oh.
And I think that's interesting.
Yeah, it is quite interesting.
It used to be, and the girls with like Manchester City jerseys on, with like Sterling on the back, and I think there's something interesting about that.
Yeah. See, weirdly, the only thing I've seen in that sense is literally just like where I live, it just go down.
Yeah.
Just go downhill. Like the people have just gotten worse.
I can't remember what I was going to say, but like, do you think like I'm just starting to know all about? Do you think like we talk more than like previous generations? 'Cause I think like when I talk to my parents, I bring up stuff I don't think they've even considered.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
like I just think we're a more talky generation. I also think we're a generation. I don't think we take a lot of shit, you know.
No.
Because like back in the day, like my parents would stay in a job if they didn't like it.
Yeah.
But I think if we really get hassled or bullied now, I think we
Fuck it off.
I think we've seen it in our parents.
Yeah.
So I think
That's it, isn't it? Like, for example, again with that same business, like my mum works for it, but in finance. They kind of just thrown her under the bus now. There's 3 people that work in it. She's the only one that's getting affected by it. Basically getting kicked out of a job. With not even 3 months' notice or out like that. Just so yeah. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But they've given her this option to still work for the company, but in like a call centre. And it's like, I say to her, it's like, if you really want to do that, do it. But like, this is the point in time now. It's giving you an opportunity to
change,
go somewhere else, because I know you hate it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've hated it for years. You've worked there as long as I've lived. Like, you know, this is your opportunity to get somewhere a lot less stressful, because it's literally 3 people who do the finance. You know, like I said, they own all these pubs and all that.
Yeah.
For the whole thing, they do it all, kind of thing. They just get overworked and stuff like that, and it's, you know, and like with the whole COVID thing and all that going off, their hours have been slashed majorly and stuff.
I know. This is what I mean. I see this in my own parents as well. I sometimes do wish they would do the same and just do something else. I've had opportunities where they can't, and I think there's a fear in doing that.
Yeah.
But like the best example of it, my girlfriend is the best person I've ever seen at changing jobs.
Yeah.
I don't know how she does it. She'll just uproot her life, and within a week it's worked out.
No, it's
like,
good though, isn't it?
That's what I mean. And I think I'm okay at doing that. I'm not as good as her, but I think that's what our generation is quite good at doing.
Yeah.
But I think the
quite
older generation,
flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think we've got like, I don't believe like we've got better advantages, but I definitely believe we've got more things. Like we can do more things now. I think.
Yeah.
We've got better advantages, but we've got more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit we can do.
See, not only that, again with my mum's thing is like a lot of the jobs, she's like, there's no point me learning loads of stuff on computer now. I'm too old. It just won't stick in my head, kind of thing. Whereas like us now, obviously, like we've grown up with like this massive surgence of technology, which is pretty much the forefront of everything now, isn't it? Like that's gone into everything compared to what they had, which, you know, was either nothing at all or like the literal most basic form of it. Like we've got all these skills to then go, whereas they kind of don't, unless they want to all of a sudden just learn. It's like we gave my nana a smartphone once, and she just had not a clue how it worked. Honestly, she'd be like butt dialing people and stuff like that constantly.
My granddad's just got a parking ticket.
Yeah.
And we tried to appeal it from him, he hasn't won it. But he literally got it just because he couldn't type the numbers in. And I just feel there should be some system in place for that.
Yeah.
Because he won't admit because he's too proud of a guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's that.
But I just feel so bad for them. It's like we bought him a phone where it's got massive buttons on it.
Yeah.
But even that's sometimes difficult. And I completely understand it. It's like they've got to a certain age, life's been a certain way. Why would you want to change that?
Yeah, and all of a sudden there's these like proper madness things doing all this stuff, which normally like, you know, he'd be 10 minutes typing number in. But no, it's like another thing, going back to the changing jobs things. My dad's worked in like warehouse for years and years and years and years, and this just one time like just out of nowhere, all of a sudden he was just like, you know what, I'm gonna apply for this train driving job. You know, just driving a train. And he was proper excited for it. Didn't get it, but like since that, he's just not bothered ever again to try.
That's the thing. People like get a little rejection from something.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got it myself. I've applied for things what I really wanted to do.
Oh yeah, same.
It hasn't even worked. I've not even fulfilled my own. Like COVID, I had some big ideas what I wanted to do.
Oh, same.
COVID killed that, and then
Yeah.
and then you can't bother to try again.
No.
But I don't know what that is.
See,
but
even in that COVID thing, like my that was my last year of college when that started, and I was gonna make a short film, you know, like all visual effects and that, and they were like, oh, why don't you just make it from home? And I'm like, yeah, but I can't.
Yeah.
Like I just can't make.
People
it
don't
from
understand.
home. It wouldn't be the same.
not just that, I can't work like good from home.
No.
Like I just like I'll do some work, and then like, I always have TV on the side of me.
Yeah.
And then I'll just see the little Netflix like avatar.
Yeah.
And I'll just press it, and then like the adverts come up for a film or something like that.
You're like,
And I'll just ignore it for a minute, and I'll be like, wait, this sounds quite good.
yeah.
And then, like, I
And
just
then
start.
she sat there for the next 3 hours.
Yeah, and then my girlfriend comes home or something, and then she's like talking to me. That's hour gone as well.
Yeah.
That sounds bad. That's
See, no, it all adds up though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like,
and then-
my main thing with uni was obviously I stopped my first year of uni was during all this in Middlesbrough, which I've never been to before. When I actually went into uni about 5 times before then, I could not go back into it. And obviously I do VFX, which is a very computer heavy course. Like you cannot do it not on a computer. You literally can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And which was same with college, because I did VFX at college, and like some people, I mean, in my like on my course when COVID struck, like one of my friends, Barker, don't have a computer in his house. Don't actually have one, so he literally couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And like he wouldn't. Like, but it's the thing, and the uni were doing the same thing to me, because one of the programs just doesn't work on my computer. This Nuke program, I have changed from Windows 7 to Windows 10. I have updated my drivers multiple times. I've installed multiple versions of it. Do you know what I mean? It just for some reason doesn't work for me. It's just one of those things. I've accepted it. It's just one of those things.
Well, some things only work on like Windows like 10.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like another app only works like Windows 7.
Yeah.
So you have to keep changing between.
I mean, put it this way, like my computer's not crap. Like I can. I mean, it's not like necessarily a new game, like, but Witcher 3, for example, I can run on like high and stuff like
Witcher
that.
2 killed my old computer.
Did it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's not bad computer. Like if it can do that, obviously you'd assume that it could run a program like that, but it just won't. Like for example, if it can run Witcher 3 and I've bought friggin' Star Wars Republic Commando, it won't run that from like
What?
2005. It's just one of those weird things. It just doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like emailing the university, being like, what can I do, because I'm going to fail this module because I can't do it. Like, and I'm not even just saying I can't do it to get out of not doing it. I literally cannot
That's
do
what
it.
I hate about lockdown. It's
Yeah.
like they just
assume you're being lazy.
Yeah, no. All the rules what like the government made and like industries made. It was like, yeah, that fits you guys.
Yeah.
It's not fitting me. I'm fucked.
Exactly.
And like, and then they would say, well, can you help me? I tried to apply for all these things, what like was going to give me money and stuff like that. Nothing. They're like,
Yeah.
no, we can't help you. And I was like, well, you.
So what am I going to do then?
Yeah.
Like, but honestly, like every time I emailed the guy, he emails me back saying, just try get it to work. And it's like, we've had this conversation. I've had this conversation with this guy over about several weeks, going backwards and forwards, saying the same thing. I wrote a 1,000-word report and took a video of me trying to get the program to work, and he still can't understand. And what he's trying to say to me is, go out of your way.
Well, he's trying to make it your fault, isn't it?
Yeah, or he's trying to make it sound as if like I have done all these things wrong, like I didn't tell him soon enough and stuff like that. And it's like, well, no, I told you when I was having the problems. It's just you every time take about 3 to 5 days to reply to an email. On top of that, like I know he's got to be busy. Do you know what I mean?
All through COVID, every email took 2 weeks to get back to you.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So there's that, and it's like he's basically making it sound as if I need to go out of my way to upgrade my like put money into it to make it work. That's basically what he was saying to me through all. And it's like, I got the last email I sent out. I was like, I'm not being funny. I'm just gonna say how I actually feel now. I'm like, it is unfair for you to ask me to go out of my way to fix my computer like that, because I already have. Like, I've already bought a new hard drive so I could do this course at home, which were like 60 quid or something like that. Yeah. I know it's not much, but it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 60 quid's a lot,
especially when I shouldn't have actually bought it. Yeah. You know, it's money that I feel like I shouldn't have actually spent. Didn't even want to upgrade my computer to Windows 10 because all of my games, I had everything, you know, perfect. And now a lot of them don't work now. Like, I can't play them ever again. Yeah. Unless I go through all this bullshit. And, like, you know, he can't say I've not tried, but he just, for some reason, he's just not understanding it.
I talk about this all the time. There needs to be the benefit of doubt in life.
Yeah.
Like, shit happens to people. Like, last year, I just seemed to get so many, like, speeding fines and parking and shit like that. Generally not for my own fault.
Yeah.
Like, I know this sounds really, like, some people aren't going to agree with this, but, like, my girlfriend went through a, she's like a vet, so she's always doing like night shifts, so she's always knackered. She went for a 30 at 40 and she got a ticket. And it's like, there should be some let-off system, because I know it is her fault, obviously, but at the same time, she was just knackered and she didn't see it. And I feel like...
I think for that as well, like, especially if they've never done it before, it's like, come on. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like,
nobody's purposely doing it.
No.
Like, you know, it always happens that you just follow the rules. There's always these people that speed ahead in cars. Yeah. They never get tickets. No. They just like,
well, the people that cut into the other lane and almost die.
Yeah, and if you try it, there's always like a police officer there.
It's like, oh, sorry, mate, can't be doing that.
Well, this is what the older generation will always sort of have on us. Like, we don't have to rely on so much technology.
Yeah.
And shit. Like we say that, you know, they don't want to try it. But like, at the end of the day, like, they'd come home after work, sit down, maybe watch TV and go to bed.
Yeah, literally.
No, I think we've got a good work ethic. I really do. I just think it's a different work ethic.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Because, like, no, when you show me your stuff, you've done a lot of shit.
I mean, like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's the best stuff, you know, and I don't want people to tell me it's because it's not. Like, it's not. Yeah. You know. But, like, yeah, I've sat there, I've made a ridiculous amount, right? Things that annoy me, like, especially with, like, making the instrumentals, is I'll sit there. See, my thing as well with it is I don't have the full version of it, so I have to use a demo version. So I can't reopen a file. I can only have it after. Yeah. I can only have it when it's done. I can't, like, go back in and change it. Do you know what I mean? So what I do is I save... See, and as well, I've self-taught myself. See, I've never did music or anything as at school. I've always been interested in it and stuff like that, but I never did it. So I basically just self-taught myself on FL. I didn't watch any videos. Well, I'll tell you, I watched one video just to know what BPM was properly, just to fully understand what it was. And I went from there. So I've made up it's weird to talk about it because I've made up my own terminology that I literally cannot explain to anyone.
You've created your own system, haven't you?
Yeah. So what I do is, obviously, a normal instrumental, you know, for like a song or whatever, be like 2.5 minutes, for example. To me, I call them sections. A section is like about, depending on the thing, like, the main part of the looped instrumental, if that makes sense, where it, you know, it goes, say it goes, so that'd be a section, then the next section, and then I add that section on. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm making an instrumental. It's hard to describe in my head, but it's like I spend so long because I can't reopen it, so I have to do it there and then. Spend all this time doing it, and then my mate showed me this Trippie Redd song the other day, right? And loads of people like proper going, oh, this instrumental is mega, it's awesome. Then he showed me this video, and all it is a sample pack that he's downloaded for free and he's put it in reverse. It's literally all it is, and he's earning millions off it.
Have you ever thought about doing one of those things, like those videos on YouTube, where it's like chill beats, and it's like...
Oh, like a compilation of hours of it.
They get millions of views, don't they?
They do, yeah. See, I weirdly like... trying my hardest to make as different as possible, but weirdly in doing so, they sound similar. like I end up going through like phases of a lot of them will weirdly sound as if they belong together. So like say I've made some over about a month and a half or something, they'll all weirdly have a theme to them. I've done it unintentionally as well, but they'll all weirdly kind of fit together in a way. And then it always starts off.
That's probably just your skill set, isn't it?
Yeah, like they grow, but then you weirdly find like little shortcut ways of doing things, and then but weirdly in that as well, it never looks how you think it would look. If you know you're trying to make a sound and it's on like a beat grid, so you've got like a piano on side and then it's all the timing across there, and you can dot little things on it. So you know it does it at certain times, certain pitches and all that. You make like a diddle-doo. You'd think that looks like it'd go down and stuff like that, but it doesn't. Like it doesn't do
it's
that.
Just going like flat, isn't it?
Like like diddle-doo, but like one of them's up, even though it sounds like it's going down. One of them's up, and two of the keys are the same, even though it sounds like it's a different key. It's this weird thing in your head. It sounds different in your head, even though it's actually not.
So it sounds different to actually like watching.
Yeah, it's like imagine like the concept of Mandela effect, but with hearing things.
The Mandela effect's ruined my life.
Was it?
Yeah, I didn't know Africa was connected. I thought Africa was its own like continent.
Really?
But it's connected a little bit,
Yeah.
isn't it? I didn't know that. I was just like,
I think it's his own floating.
it's got
thing.
like a tiny little bit of string, hasn't it? Which
Yeah,
is
it's the
connected.
tiniest little
I
bit.
never knew that. I was just like, what? How did I not know that?
Yeah.
Technically, it's not connected now because of the canal they man-made, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that big boat in it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
A big
no,
boat getting stuck on Nile.
I'm generally impressed with like you've done a lot. I think our generation do a lot.
Yeah, I think, especially nowadays, and as bad as COVID is, weirdly, I don't want to say it's a good thing, but I think for some people it has been a good thing, because even though you've sat with yourself, with your own brain, and it's either going one of two ways, and well, to be fair, both things can happen, which I imagine for quite a lot of people is it either goes really bad, do you know what I mean, in your head, because you sat constantly in the same room doing nothingness all day.
That was me.
Yeah, same. And then, but then at the same time, because you sat doing nothing, you sat thinking, and now either that thought either goes bad, or especially if you're a creative
you're thinking
person.
too much, aren't you?
Yeah, but if you're a creative person, like everyone in this room, you start thinking of things, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, I've started thinking of like film concepts and writing them down and stuff like that, and short little skits and all sorts of stuff like that. Weirdly, I'd say it's, for me, in a creative sense, it's kind of helped.
It actually kind of saved me. And this real weird thing happened because like I'd done my first feature film, and I was trying to launch like that to get a bigger budget. That was my whole idea in life. And I thought if I never did that, I would never be like, made it. And then I just found this guy who made these films what were really good, but just on a low budget. He's made all these films. He made like 30 films. Yeah. And he's just happy working in that budget. And I found his work, and not only did I think it was genius, I was also like, oh, I could do it. You know what I mean? I don't have to be the big guy.
Yeah.
I can
That's the thing,
that.
innit? Like,
and that's what I realised. And so since then, I've just started making films. Like I realised, oh, hang on. I'm okay doing what I'm doing. Yeah. Just keep doing what you're doing.
That's what I mean. Because I think that's a kind of a weird mentality to go into things. Is obviously you go into anything wanting to be on top, don't you? But like the weird thing is like, you weirdly shouldn't go for top. You should weirdly go for your own. Do you know what I mean? Like go for you. Make your own. Carve your own path. Do you know what I mean? It's like I don't want to say his name because it's stupid and it's weird, but there's this artist called Rich Brian, right? And he's Asian and he's American, but he used to, before he called himself that, he used to call himself Rich Chigger, right? Yeah. And it's a bit like, but if you think about it, he's done that to get him saying like, because obviously I've not forgot that because of how dumb it sounds, really. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He's done that and he made all this crap music, just basic music just to flood the, market kind of thing, right? And I always writ him off, and he changed his name and he made this album, and he made a point on the album of just going, I'm not making music for the industry anymore. I'm making music for me, and that album is one of my favourite albums of all time now because it sounds cinematic and it's mad.
So he sort of saves himself creatively.
Proper, like it. You go from listening to his other things where it's just beat, lyrics, average song.
It's like Joji as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically the
Joji's
same
probably
as that. Yeah.
Crazy one because he used to, go on YouTube where those, spandex, the pink ones.
Yeah, scream.
And scream into camera, like classic internet stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And now he's like fully fledged, like
proper artist doing like actually what he wants to do.
And he almost got cancelled because all of his like women fans were like, oh my god, have you seen that he's saying the N-word on YouTube? And it's like, well, that was him 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now he's like sorted.
See, weirdly though, like even him doing that, it's given him a platform for him to do that. See, that's my thing with that is, it's like it seems as if to actually be fully noticed in the mainstream, you have to do something so ridiculous that it gets people's attention. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like all those skits he'd make and stuff like that, things he'd say, madness. Do you know what I mean? But like, my thing is I'd rather, say if I did fully want to go into like producing and stuff, because although I really like it, it's more of a hobby for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to sit there and make it. I just make it when I feel like it, because to me that's the only way it works.
It's probably the best way, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. I every time I've sat there and I've
tried to, it never works.
It just don't work. I need to either hear something or like just have a thought in my head. And then
you got to be inspired, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Because another thing is I love sampling things as well. Sampling things is so fun to do, especially sampling things from like 70s and 80s.
I'm obsessed with your Die in Mexico like sample.
Yeah,
I keep playing it. I downloaded it. Actually.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's one of those songs that I always thought should be remixed.
Yeah,
and you've done it. So
see that exactly. That was my thought. I've always liked that song, and I always thought that like certain section of it sound mint.
What I should also say, you've remixed it to the way I would think it should be remixed as well. Like, no, because you could make a really stupid like bass boosted version, of it, couldn't you?
See, I tried to make it into like my main, I suppose, inspiration.
Have you seen Death Proof?
Yeah, because that's where I've heard it from.
Yeah.
My main inspiration for like instrumentals really was like, I don't want to sound like average or like that, but it's literally what Kanye West, just because of the way he made music, just because of how different it sounded at the time, especially when it was coming out. It sounded mental compared to like, especially because it was rap, and then at the time, like, you saw rap that were all like gangster stuff. Then there's Kanye coming out in his pink polo and his like Louis Vuitton bag and stuff like that, and everyone's like, who's this guy? Yeah. Like the stuff he'd talk about, like and just the way he'd make music, like he was one of the, at the time, more mainstream people in hip hop, to be like, stop hating on like gay people and stuff, because what's the point? Because like, you listen to a lot of songs and around that era, it's just anger, which I like a lot of them. I'm not gonna lie, some of them are good, but like a lot of them just anger towards.
I never really got behind gangster rap.
Full on gangster rap I've never really got behind. Rap with a story, I can gear towards more of that.
I like rap with a story, but if it's like a really heavy story, I feel like it's trying to be heavy for the sake of it.
Yeah,
it gets someone nervous.
Have you ever heard of Dance with the Devil by
Yeah. I was just literally about to say that. Yeah. No. At first, when I was like younger, I love that song. Cause me and my friends would be like,
it's deep.
We'd be high as shit, and we'd put it on in the car, and we were listening to it like, life's fucked. Yeah. And then because it's one thing of it when like it shoots his own. Yeah. And then when I got older, it was still on my old Spotify playlist. So I put it on, and I was like, this is horrible.
Yeah, it is. It's awful to listen to, isn't it? Like, you're just like, oh.
It hasn't even got a nice beat, has it?
No, even the beat. See, weirdly, I really like the instrumental, but like. It's really depressing.
I don't mean instrumental. I just mean like.
The beat is depressing as itself. Yeah. But I can't really listen to it anymore.
I'm happy you've listened to that now.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was
there's quite a few other ones as well. There's basically every single one of his songs that I've listened to is a story of him losing someone or something. That's
weird. Now I always think that's weird. You're listening to it here. I'm listening to it here. Yeah. I always think there's something weird about that. Like there's like
strange connection.
Have you ever heard of like XFM? Like with like a guy who lives like 2 streets from me. I'm like a massive fan of it, and he was a crazy massive fan of it. I just went to his house and he had it on his laptop, And at the time, never met anybody who liked it or knew about it. And I just saw it on his computer. I was like, oh shit, are you into this? And we're both quoting back and forth.
Yeah, my thing with that is it seems to have maybe got a bit bigger nowadays.
Are we talking about Ricky?
No, I was Dark Souls.
Oh, Dark Souls.
Just no one had ever heard of it. And on top of that, no one would play it because you'd play most people would play 5 minutes of it and go, what the fuck is this?
This might sound weird, but I always loved watching the walkthrough first and then playing a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I sort of grew up on that.
See, I just went into it pure blind, me. I saw a trailer for it.
I don't know if I did really well on it for 2 hours.
Yeah, that first initial bit of it, you're like, whoa.
You're like, I am just the best. Everybody else is struggling.
Yeah, and you're like, why is everyone saying all this stuff about this game? And then you understand, and then it starts happening to you.
But the thing why that game worked is because it was actually challenging.
Yeah, see, that's what I miss in a lot of things. Yeah.
People disagree with me because people just think I'm being old, but I think video games just aren't the same anymore.
Yeah, sorry, I cut you off then.
No, that's it.
On my computer, I had this Mammy thing on it, and it had literally basically every arcade game on there and stuff like that. And obviously they're solid because all they're meant to do is just get as much money out of you as possible. And I'd sit there when we died and we'd play frigging old Ninja Turtle game, beat 'em up and stuff like that. Because they were actually hard.
Yeah.
They were actually difficult because you die a lot.
You wanted to play them. Yeah,
exactly. You actually gain some satisfaction out of playing it rather than just going through the motions. For example, I like Uncharted. I only played them all recently.
I never completed 4.
4's alright.
I never completed
compared...
I think, for me, 2's were the best, maybe?
2 is definitely the best one, yeah. But it seems like after 2, I was just going through the motions playing it.
It felt like it became an action game after.
Yeah, I just started it felt like I wasn't... I upped the difficulty just to actually get some challenge out of it.
I think sometimes these modern games just try too hard.
Yeah.
And like Cyberpunk, I really like the idea of the design of it. Yeah. But then because Peter's don't get it. And I
got it.
I had to get it. I had to do it.
I got it as well.
The frame rate is so choppy.
What did you get it on?
PS4.
Same. Apparently it's fixed now.
Yeah. Right, it keeps saying it's fixed. So I tried to. I put it back. No. They didn't say it was fixed. It's playable.
In a playable state now.
Yeah. Anyway, I put it back in, and the download is still massive for it.
Is it?
Yeah.
See, I bought it digitally as well.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I bought it because I was editing for 1 week of my life, so I'll edit and play this. That didn't end up happening.
Yeah.
But I still want to try and do it.
See, I still want to play it because, for what I played, I did actually enjoy.
Yeah.
But
I really like it, but it's one of those games where if you look too deep into the game, it's you can see it's not very good.
Yeah, and you can see it breaking on top of that. It's... Oh, we've made this massive open world city. I drive about, there's no one else on the road.
That's the worst thing.
There's no one else on the path walking, unless I stand there for 5 minutes and then turn around and then everyone spawns in.
Basically, this new update, I was watching, I'm not good at myself, but I've been, when it comes up on Reddit or whatever, what's happening?
National meme.
What's happening in shit town today?
Pretty much. And apparently what all the patch and stuff the update is literally they've removed more shit out of the game, so it can run at 30 frames per second.
Yeah, aren't they moving stuff out to put as DLC or something like that?
I've driven to one point in the game and it says, "Oh, you can't go here."
I've seen that bit. I've seen that bridge. What's just in the middle of the road? There's a bridge, and they haven't designed it, so it's just blocks the road off.
Yeah.
So you can't get through it.
The amount of glitches I come across the opening to the game. Because I played it, when it launched.
The opening to the game is quite good. It depends which one you pick.
No, I mean at launch.
All right.
At launch, playing the game because I played it as soon as it came out. I was sat there at midnight. Me and my mate were playing it, and obviously you know what happens with Jackie in it, don't you? Yeah. For me, when he got in the car wearing his normal street attire, and I was like, why has he suddenly changed clothes when he's dying? And then randomly popped back into his suit, and I was like, yeah, this is a bit weird. And they had the gun in his hand like that.
Yeah.
And then when he went to put the gun down, the gun was still in his hand. So the gun was just floating in his hand, spinning around.
Yeah,
I recorded this, by the way. It's on my PS4. And then he's like, right, I'm going to get the chip out. And then the gun in his hand flies into his head. And then he pulls the chip out and it's the gun. And he puts the gun into my head. And he goes, right, you've got the chip now, and then he dies. And I was just like, what? And then about 5 minutes before that, when I'm in the elevator, I killed someone in the elevator, and the ragdoll body was just going. Poof, poof,
Yeah. The hand thing's over, don't they? So they go to keep hanging something, and it disappears to the hand, and then it's gone.
I was just like, wow. To be fair, I don't know, like if this is an actual item in the game or if it's just the random. Because I know, like I'm pretty sure every gun's got like a random stat on it or whatever. But I got a gun which was probably about like 15 levels higher than, like, I don't mean actual levels, I mean the damage it was doing was about 15 levels higher than what I was doing, so I just used that one pistol. It shoots through walls as well.
So you should have got that early on.
Yeah, I got that pretty much like start at game. I just came across it, found it. It's explosive. It goes through buildings, like through walls and that, and I could see people
The
through
thing
walls.
is, though, I just don't think the gameplay is good. Like,
no, it's like it's there, but it's not there. Do you know what I mean?
Well, again, I've not played it, but by the look, it looks quite boring because it's nothing new. It's
Yeah,
first-person
that's what it is.
shooter.
Yeah.
Well, no,
You get behind cover, pop out, bang.
Yeah.
at E3, it looked like
We've had how many years of that game? Like it's like
Millions.
It's like Bethesda games, like like Fallout and
Yeah, and Skyrim.
As
Yeah.
much as I enjoy
Fallout.
games,
Yeah, same, but they're the
like,
same game, aren't they? They're
Like-
just with a different skin on it, ultimately,
it's
aren't
not
they?
really changed the gameplay.
I like Fallout 4 now. Just because I was so excited,
but
I
by
refused
all
to.
means,
I got too excited for Fallout 4.
Same.
But by all means, it's fun.
Oh yeah, but
when you look at it, it's like, well,
I skipped a lesson of college to
I
get that.
played this game literally 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
the same game. Like Oblivion's better than this, and as much as I love Skyrim, I put like hundreds of hours into that game. It's like
Do you know?
Oblivion's better, and it's like it's not as glitchy as well.
I finished Skyrim. I didn't really. I know why a lot of people proper love it, but I don't have that love for it.
Well, no,
weirdly.
I don't think it's the. If you finish like the story, I don't think the story's that good.
No, the story's not.
It's just like the exploration.
Well, I took 3 years to finish it, the story, because
Yeah,
I just
I-
kept just wandering off.
The problem with those games, I don't really finish the stories.
I don't think I ever finished it, to be honest.
You don't feel like you want to go do the story because the whole point of it is toted is go about and live the life,
It's
innit?
like way better, like
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Brotherhood of Darkness and all that.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's what I mean.
Just give me a whole game.
It's way more interesting than
But Skyrim was really cool. when it
shout
first
at this
came out.
dragon.
When Skyrim first launched,
Oh, we're mega.
The
Oh,
hype.
100%, yeah.
Everyone's doing
Yeah.
that at school.
it was. I remember just going around. I remember going up to my mum at every shop to try and get this game. And it
Yeah.
was just sold out everywhere.
Just
I'm just
completely
like,
gone.
my poor mum was driving everywhere. But I remember getting Fallout 4. I remember getting it at college. I didn't have any money, but I
Oh.
managed to find loads of £1 coins,
Yeah.
like 50 quid worth of £1 coins.
I saved up my lunch money for a month to buy Fallout 4.
I've actually got fond memories of Peter. I remember playing. I think it was on my birthday. You stayed over, and we were playing Fallout 4 through midnight.
Which name?
Yeah, so I remember
Mhm.
that.
But I remember, of course, when Fallout 76 or whatever it's called came out, I was like, Aaron, don't get it because I've seen it.
I've got that.
You still got it.
No, I never did. I
I thought you did.
No, I never got
I
that one.
thought you
I owned that game 3 times.
I might have got it and never played it.
It came out for about 2 weeks, and on G2A they were selling keys of it for £12.
Still not
So I was like, do you know what? I just want to see what it's like. And then I was like, yeah, it's shit. But then that same year is the year I got a PS4. But like, I had this thing with my mate. My other mate were buying a PS4 Pro. I was like, I'm getting rid of my PS4. I know you two want it, so rock, paper, scissors for it, and whoever wins can just
Really?
have it. Yeah, and I lost, right? So he got it, and he was like, I'll tell you what, because my birthday's on Christmas as well. He was like, I'll buy us both a copy of that, so then we've got something to play. Like, even if it's shit, like, we can just piss about on it. Do you know what I mean? Because then we'll both have a game to play together. I'm like, yeah, go on then. And so that year I was actually going to buy a PS4, but fucking mum and dad mind read and got me the Spider-Man PS4, the red one.
Yeah.
It's fucking sick. But they feel like, oh, to be fair, you were like, oh, it's going to be expensive buying these 2 games. Went into Tesco, they were selling it for 25 quid, so we basically bought 2 copies of it.
They dropped like 20 quid, didn't it? 'Cause it
Proper,
just-
right? And because I own like Fallout 4 and 3 in New Vegas on Steam,
Oh,
they just
New-
gave me
New
it for free.
Vegas. When somebody says New Vegas, I just like, that was it.
I've still never finished it.
I don't think I have, to be honest.
Like,
still
the
never.
first games you don't really finish. You just
No.
I think I completed Fallout 3.
Oh, definitely 3. 3 were my like. I played that before playing any Elder Scrolls games.
3 will always be my favourite game.
Yeah,
of all time.
same. Oh, no, it won't be my favourite game
I
of all
made a
time.
pact with somebody. I was like,
Okay.
I was like, I remember it was in Woodwork. I was like, for the rest of our lives, we'll say Fallout 3 was the best game ever. So whoever that guy is, Gerald, I think his name was. I hope he's still keeping to that.
He's got it tattooed on him. He's waiting for you.
Well, go on, I cut you off.
I really like that game. To be fair, out of all the Fallout games, the one I love the most is 3. Just because at the time I played it, it was like I'd never seen it like it weirdly. Like I said, I'd played that before Elder Scrolls.
It was just I've never played a game where you just everywhere you go, you just full of excitement.
Yeah.
You're just like, what is going to happen next? Who am I going to meet? What's going to happen?
Oh, my dog's just stepped on a landmine. Nice. But that actually made me sad the first time that happened. He genuinely stepped on a landmine dog meat and his head fucking came off. I was just like, oh.
Because the physics in the game, the head used to go flying.
Yeah, just like that. See, I'd tell you what as well, compared to 4, 3 I think had a way better dismemberment.
Well, I think 3 is better than 4.
I do
think-
overall, to be fair.
I think Oblivion's better than Skyrim.
Yeah,
But I think that might be.
would say the same
I
as
think that
well.
might be nostalgia now.
I don't know, because I played Oblivion again. I mean, it was a couple of years ago now, but I played it again, and I did still enjoy it a bit more than my playthrough of Skyrim.
I think it feels a bit more nerdy, but in a good way.
Well,
Like-
I like it because I'm not the centre of attention in Oblivion. Like, I ain't got like thousands of people. Oh, you're the chosen one.
Yeah.
Coming up to you, because I mean, you kind of are, aren't you?
No,
but you're not.
It just feels more like, you know, when you got to kill the rats at the beginning.
Yeah.
It just feels like a proper like geeky game. When
Yeah,
you
like a proper game, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Like,
And then
But even Morrowind, like going back even further.
I this is the thing.
my dad likes that one. I've never played
I
Morrowind.
played the hell out of that game, but I can't remember it.
It's,
But I've even got my little
like,
copy.
The gameplay is sort of like subpar over time, even.
Yeah.
But it's like all the sort of dialogue and story. Like,
See, that's what I'll give those games as well, because they put more. That was my thing before. They seem to put less focus on story and people interacting.
Well, it's just fucking
and
Preston
put-
coming up, just asking
Yeah.
us to do another
Oh, that glitched out for me. I could never join his thing ever.
You
My
don't need to.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I didn't even get the option to. Like, as soon as he got back to Sanctuary, his dialogue glitched out, and I could never speak to him. Like, he'd just say the same one line, you know, if I went to talk to him. So I literally couldn't even do it for him. I was like, oh, sick.
I just thought, you know, like Fallout 4, they should have just made that version online. Sure, that's
Yeah.
possible. Like, instead of
To
creating
be
like
fair, right,
pretty sure there's mods anyway.
yeah, I think most people don't want online. They want co-op
No.
more than
Yeah,
online, don't they?
Yeah.
Like,
Because
Skyrim would be sick if you had, like, your mate weird. I don't want to fucking Gerald from Uganda playing it on the other
Shouting
side
at
of the map. I don't care about that. I just
Yeah.
want to play it with my mate. Do you know what I mean?
well, no, that's the whole point. Like, my whole childhood was just playing co-op with my friends.
yeah,
Like,
so,
before I had online, it was like I couldn't really afford online, so it was just like, or my parents didn't know how to set it up. I didn't know how to set it up, so my friend would just come over and just play
Yeah.
split screen, and then that advanced into co-op.
Yeah.
And all my fondest memories are just playing like, I remember Splinter Cell, not a very good game, but I remember me and my friends playing it online co-op, and it was just
Yeah.
so fun.
Just because it's online, it was so fun. Which one did there's
Rainbow Six Lost, that's really fun co-op. Like,
I can't. I bought a. I don't know how this happened either. I have a copy. I don't know if it's Vegas 2 or 1 or something like that
Yeah.
on PC. Put the disc in my computer. This was years and years and years ago. It just destroyed my computer. It just broke my entire
that's what
computer.
Witcher 2 did to mine.
I had to completely restart my entire computer from scratch. I put the disc in. That's all I did, and it started loading it as I clicked to install it. And it just crapped on my computer.
Part of the game.
That's the covert side of it.
Yeah.
That's the Tom Clancy element hacking my computer.
Well, no, with Witcher 2 was like, I think
I enjoyed that game.
Witcher 3 is like my second all-time favourite game, but Witcher 2 is like not far off. I love that game so much.
I
And
played
then-
that before 3 as well.
And then it just killed my computer. I just got to like the last bit of the game, and it was running really smooth, and it just decided to go no. Like we're not.
It's a strange engine that, because you can see a lot of popping, can't you?
Yeah.
Like when you're walking about. It started annoying me so long, but I wasn't that fussed about it. We're only grass really that'd do it.
Should I name drop my favourite?
Go on.
Go on.
Half-Life. Yeah.
Is it?
Mm. I mean, because of course I grew up in a household where we didn't have online. We didn't
Yeah.
have like any the stuff we had was like 2 generations older than everyone else. Like I remember, like I'm not saying this, but I say this fondly because it was quite cool and whatnot.
Yeah.
But our TVs were still, you know, the big boxes.
Oh yeah, same, yeah.
Everyone had like, even though flat screens weren't that flat, you know, but everyone had flat screens on the walls, and our family still had the fucking huge box TV, and we all had like VHS still when they
Yeah, same, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I sort of miss those days because you know.
Nostalgic
like,
for it as well, yeah.
Nostalgic. Like looking back, I've been going for the VHS, and it's like there's something special about putting it in. And
it is, yeah.
Well, you've just replayed Half-Life, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's a trip.
Every year I replay it because, of course, that was the first game where we had it wasn't 360, but you know, the original Xbox.
Yeah.
And I got Half-Life 2 on Xbox, which isn't the best version, but it's the only version I had because our PC was the kind of PC that you couldn't play anything other than
used for finance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You couldn't play ping pong or anything. But I got Half-Life 2 on Xbox because I saw it on YouTube, and like around, it was long after it came out. It was probably like 2010ish.
Yeah.
I saw it online. I was like, oh shit, there's physics. They're dropping boxes, and it's like.
It's proper mental though, isn't it?
Like gravity going. What the fuck? You can pick things up and like, fling them. I was like, oh my god. And then I saw it in CEX for like £5. Oh, Mum, can I get them? So I remember. And I was like,
I can picture that.
Yeah. Oh,
Mum.
Mum,
Please.
Like Morty.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, oh my god.
Oh.
Oh jeez.
Oh jeez, Mum, you can pick up boxes, and she's like, oh sure.
Yeah.
But I didn't really ask for games too much.
Yeah, I never
So
did either.
She sort of understands, like, if I'm asking for it, begging for it, it must be good.
Yeah.
So I remember putting it in the Xbox, and like that was the first game where I played it all the way through in the first night. Like games before then, like, I had an older brother, so I watched him play video games.
Yeah.
And that was cool. That like even on YouTube, like still I'll watch people play games that even on this laptop I can play the game myself.
Yeah.
But I'm so used to watching other people play.
Well,
games.
some people have like a, you know, you're watching them as well, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
But I remember that was the first game that was mine.
Yeah.
I hadn't played it. I played it all the way through. Accomplished it. I was like, holy shit, this story's awesome. And I play it every year, like maybe once or twice, and it still holds.
That's interesting, because I think that's the Fallout thing as well. You feel like this world's just for you.
Yeah.
Even though you know other people are playing it, you're like, when that's the thing, nobody wasn't in my year. It was only me and this other guy who were playing it, and like.
Same thing. If I mentioned Half-Life, everyone would be like, what's that? It's like, dude, it's the best game.
No, but it kept me sane. Everybody else at school was talking about stuff what I can't relate to, I'm scared of, and then I'm just playing this game, and I just felt so nice. I didn't really get along with anybody at school. Yeah. Probably for fault my own. I just weren't really that very social. And then I would go home. I could not wait to go home, and I'd put Fallout 3 on. Yeah. And it sounds sad, but I don't think it was. But that was my people.
Yeah, because you form like this attachment you wouldn't think you would to these characters, because not only that, it's not as if like, especially in RPGs, you can actually interact with the character, not just there, do you know what I mean? I can have a conversation with him, can fall in love with him, change the clothes, can just shoot him in the back of the head if I want, do you know what I mean? Like the possibilities, especially in RPGs,
it captures your imagination, doesn't it? And you go back to school and it's just so mundane again,
and everyone's talking about COD, which, don't get me wrong, I like COD, but I've always been more into like single player games.
I've got a funny story on that, because of course I'm going to mention a game right now, and you're going to either have one or two reactions of it, of like, oh for fuck's sake, or you'll be like, okay.
What is it?
Minecraft.
No,
okay, fair
100%.
enough.
To be fair, that's where a lot of my initial online thing came from.
I
did have to pay for an online subscription, or did you?
I had a shit laptop. That was my first ever like computer laptop for me, and it was even outdated by those standards. Like, it was like one of those, like,
we've seen Peter's old gaming channel.
Yeah, and it was a dead thing even then. It's not for gaming. It was, but I loved it.
Yeah.
And Minecraft was the first online game, and even to this day, our internet shit. You know, it's like I can't upload and download anything. Like, if I try and download like fucking pick out a game like if I bought Cyberpunk, and tried to download on Steam, even on this computer that's fucking good, our internet's so shit, it literally comes up as something like it would take
12 days. Yeah, I had a mate on a farm downloading GTA 5. He was like, all right, I'll see you in 3 days, because that's how long it took him.
Yeah, you just leave it and you come back and be like, this laptop's going to fucking...
But the thing with that is, you need the internet as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
So
yeah.
like, you go on your internet and it's also slowing it down even more. Sometimes it
Exactly.
crashes as well.
Yeah, I pretty much tried the first time I got GTA. I got it on disc because I was like, well, it would be faster, right? Well, no, because it still has to connect to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
internet. So I'm like putting in 4 different discs every other day.
I struggle
and
with...
then the at the end, I'm like, no,
Fuck.
I struggle with work. You know, like just getting work out to people.
Yeah.
My internet's really good now, but prior to that, it was so shit. Worse than yours, because I live in like a village as well, so it was just terrible. And like, I just couldn't actually, say if I did a short film and I sent it to a fest, I couldn't get to them because it's just like...
Well, even with that, like, do you know when COVID hit? Because everything's like...
Online, isn't
everyone
it?
wants to go back, because I was doing videos and stuff for a company. And they're like, alright, you gotta download the files that you need from the office. And keep in mind there's like 3 of us downloading at the same time from the office, so it's strapping it. And
Yeah.
you get like half a gigabyte a second, if you're lucky. Like,
Yeah.
what? No, half
Meg.
meg. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to say, that's fucking good internet if you're doing that.
That'd be mind-blowing. But like half a meg at best with all of us. Like one of us.
Yeah.
And even then, that was on a really good day. And then forget about trying to upload it back onto the office. So at the end of the day, like our department would get like 1 video a week out. We're meant to be there, and that's not.
Jesus.
To be fair, that wouldn't be so bad. But from what it used to be in the office, where we're like pumping out 3 videos a day.
Yeah.
Shit went bad. But as I was saying, Minecraft was like the first online game for me.
I came to that second wave now. I was not first gen Minecraft player.
Funnily enough, there's literally someone in my class going, you can download this alpha for free of this game.
Yeah.
That's why I got fingered into it.
I still remember the YouTube channel. Every once in a while I'll go back and sort of watch those first videos because it's really nostalgic. But there was this YouTuber called X's Minecraft Adventures.
Yeah.
He was like one of the first people to like really pop off with it. And I was like, oh my god, this looks cool. Like you know, you just build it. It doesn't look crazy or anything. This was before like any mobs really.
Yeah, it would basically you just make like a stone house and that was pretty much it,
But there was
wasn't it?
something cool about it. I was like, well, this is cool. Like, you know.
Like the potential it had, you like, you know.
Yeah, because like the thing that always gets me about video games, if it's got open world, I'm so like up for it.
Yeah.
Open world's on great now.
Yeah.
Back then it was like, holy shit.
I can go about and do whatever I want, yeah.
Open world like a shooter way, it's open world RPG way.
Both. Like the thing with
Remember Rage? We played Rage.
Oh yeah, Rage was great.
That was really cool.
And like with Minecraft, it was random each time, and something about that was so crazy. Like, this
Yeah.
is my world.
Well,
No one else has it,
This
yeah.
might sound quite sad, but I never played Minecraft for online. I just played to build shit.
Oh, no,
And
that's fine.
I actually listened to XFM, and I
Yeah.
just would. I mean, I've still got some of my old buildings on my old PlayStation, which is now broke. But I would just build the most ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
I probably put 100 hours into building
Well,
shit, what nobody would ever see.
You go on creative mode and just blow shit up with TNT.
Oh yeah, you just get loads of stuff out. Especially when they started adding people, I started getting sadistic and making pens of like
Exactly, yeah.
pigs and just
Oh
blowing
yeah,
them up.
I would play, you know, like you buy adventure packs. So I'd play them with my friends, and they'll be taking them really seriously, and I'll just blow the whole map up.
Yeah.
See, the adventure packs you don't get on PC, because I was all on PC. It was more just like,
I thought you did.
no. Well, I think you can. You
It
get
was
people who-
servers more for stuff like that.
just online.
Like we had, I remember Mine Z. If you ever remember that was like a big thing. I always thought it was mad that, like it would just some server you go on, but it'd have loads of like what were they
Random
like?
plugs in.
Yeah, random plugs in. So like you know we'd be playing DayZ but on Minecraft.
Well,
Come on, Daisy.
And stuff
I
like that.
remember, I've shown you the videos of me and my mate playing Minecraft.
Yeah, but Peter's got a whole YouTube channel, and
Yeah.
it's like, how old would you be? About 11, 13?
Maybe 4.
We were all there.
Well, that's what I mean.
Everyone made a YouTube channel when they were a
It's
kid.
exactly what you picture.
Yeah.
It's on my old laptop with fraps.
Yeah. Oh, fraps.
Fraps. And like 9
Oh.
friends were singing on
Yeah.
online Minecraft, and it's on this. Back
Oh,
then you
wow.
didn't question it, but now it's like, what the fuck was I playing?
Yeah, exactly.
It was a Minecraft server called like I forgot but it's all about drugs. And like the sugar plant would be cocaine.
Oh, that's mint.
And you just go around like blowing shit up, raining people for drugs.
That's quite sick, that.
Like it was shit, but you didn't think it was.
No,
shit.
you know.
Well, not
Like 9 frames per second, that was good.
Oh yeah,
Well,
that was
like-
the shit back
Like we were
then.
talking about earlier, like kids are playing too many games, but you can sort of understand, can't you, why they are?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
100%. Because like it makes these like worlds that you can get lost in.
Well, it's pretty shit out there, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's like, do I want to go out there where it's pissing it down, or do I want to sit indoors and fucking shoot some Nazis for an hour?
There'll be nothing like those days of early Minecraft for me, where I found the first server that I ever joined, like a community. And
Yeah.
like you build your first house and you're like actually making mates, and it's like, holy shit, I'll never have this again. Because
Yeah.
I tried to do it now. Like maybe last year during COVID, I joined a Minecraft server. I was like, alright, it's only got like 10 players now, because I don't like these huge ones. Like,
Yeah,
'cause you
too
know-
many heads about, and then there's always someone like blowing everything up in
Yeah,
there.
and there's always like a million people ahead of you, and you're like, well, I can't get any kind of foothold in this. But you join a small server, and it was sort of similar. Like I was like, alright, this is cool, but like, nah, you just can't get it back. Those early days of Minecraft, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I've.
Like there's Half-Life 2, which is like story, but like for online games, I can't deny Minecraft has always been that game I can go back to, even on single
Well,
player.
there's-
And it's,
The sad thing with Minecraft, though, they made it commercial again. They like started with like story
Yeah.
modes and stuff like that. It-
Well,
it
you can
ruined the
be
charm.
fucking Sonic the Hedgehog in it now,
Yeah.
and like
I mean,
proper mad stuff.
To be fair, that's the console. I can see that on, but for PC, we don't have that kind
Yeah.
of stuff, 'cause it's all like.
No, but I don't mean that. I don't mean like they've made. I think they got a TV show now, haven't they, as well? Of like the
Yeah.
character.
I think there's something on Netflix, I think,
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I think they're trying to do a movie as well.
It's
But
just
by all means, like on the PC version, it's quite vanilla still. Like
Yeah.
you could still have those early days of Minecraft and play vanilla.
It's just on console, because there seems to be a massive push, doesn't it, for
Yeah.
console version of
Plus,
it.
like on consoles, like trying to mod shit is like a nightmare.
Well, they
If
can just
possible.
proper monetize it
Yeah.
to
Well,
fuck, can't they, on
well,
console?
On PC, it's all fair game.
Well-
You
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
wanna have that shit.
It's another thing with mods on like Fallout and stuff like that. It's like got Fallout on PlayStation. It's like, oh yeah, you can have a Deathclaw with a little funny art. Well, I can have Macho Man Randy Savage Deathclaws on mine.
It's like the donkey videos I was showing you years back, like
Yeah.
where he's like Thomas the Tank Engine on Skyrim.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Guys with dragons.
It's
Like, what-
mint. What else? Spectacle Island, Fallout 4. I didn't have my Lurk Queen. I had Godzilla coming out at water fighting me. It was mega.
that'd be cool. No, but I didn't know about the Lurk Queen, so when it came out, it generally scared the hell out of me.
Yeah. Oh,
I thought I'm not equipped for this as well. That's the second thing that came out of my head.
I don't know what it is with the enemies in 4. They are
They're
weirdly a bit scarier, just because they seem to be a bit more like
But I don't know if you agree with this.
just
that
get you a bit more. I don't know what it is.
The combat's not fun because the
It's
way
not fun,
the way
no.
you beat them, you just got to throw everything at them,
Yeah.
and that's not fun to me. There should be like a boss battle to me should be like you've got to do.
Don't talk about boss battles to me. Dark Souls. That's my bread and butter. Is the
Dark Souls boss battles. Yes.
Oh mate, they're so fun. They can be so aggravating, but like the release that you get after you
yeah.
beat it
Yeah.
is
It's
there's
euphoric, isn't it?
nothing like it. Especially if it's for the first time, and especially like you said, going back to Half-Life every year. I can maybe not Dark Souls 2 because there's a massive thing in the community where people don't really like that one. I kind of don't.
I do.
I kind of don't, just because the way it plays compared to the other ones.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
It just doesn't. And they add another stat in it, which I don't like, because it makes it weirdly unfair. Because in the, obviously rolling's dodge, isn't it? You have
Yeah.
like invincibility frames.
Oh yeah.
There's an unsaid extra stat in 2 called ADP, where if you level it up, does nothing but give you more invincibility frames.
Yeah.
So you start off with less invincibility frames than the other games, but then potentially you could get a ridiculous amount more. So I didn't really like that in that. One thing I really liked about it though was the amount of bosses, and I liked the dual wielding that they had in it, because you could, like, say if I had 2 axes, if I held down like triangle for example, I'd go into like a dual wield stance and I have a completely new moveset.
I just like how cluttered it was and how unpredictable as well.
Yeah, it's like it with the rushed one. It's like the stepchild, because everyone that worked on 1 went on to make Bloodborne, and in the time they were like, oh shit, we need
Quick
another
as
Dark
well.
Souls game to capitalise on it because it's blown up out of
You like
nowhere.
Bloodborne?
Yeah, I only played that recently when I.
That's the video.
Oh wow!
That's a frame rate, and I didn't care because I was playing online.
That was a choppy frame rate.
And like when kids complain about, oh, I can't get 120, I'm like, mate.
Mate,
Like, if I
go
get
back to
30
those days. My monitor were one of those big, thick ones.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The only other game I had on my computer was Shrek 2.
I remember
Was that a game?
Shrek 2 on
Was that-
PC, yeah, it was like a weird beat 'em up thing. It was
Really?
strange.
Well,
Yeah.
it's always like running along, and then you have to.
Yeah, like you played as
You could play as like all the characters.
yeah, pretty much every character. Yeah. You-
Do you remember movie caching games? Every time a movie came out,
I
they
weirdly
bought
miss
it.
them. I
Same,
weirdly
same,
miss
to be
them.
honest.
Like
Zephora, that was a classic.
do you know what I mean? Like for example, you know, it wouldn't have to be out mega, but like there was
Fast
like
and
new Godzilla films coming out. Imagine like a fighting game, but with
like,
Godzilla. Like
As much as, sure, I get the Marvel hate, but Marvel, why haven't they made a fucking superhero game that's fucking
yeah, what were the last one that they made
Game.
for a film? They were like probably like Incredible Hulk or something like that.
They have made a Avengers game
But it's shit.
1 or 2 years ago, but it was all sort of pay to win.
Yeah, that's literally they
Online,
ruined it. They proper just ruined it.
It was single player as well, but you can only play it if it's connected to
The thing-
like that.
It's
The
like,
thing
what's
is,
the
that
point?
here's those games don't exist anymore. It's either indie games, really indie games,
Yeah.
or just an AA game.
Yeah.
There's no like in the middle
Yeah,
games
but
anymore.
AAA games are dead. Like, there's,
Yeah.
I don't blame
There's
the
very
people
few
who are-
coming out that are
Yeah,
interesting.
the people who are actually making games, I feel so bad because they're like working like
The devs are rushed
I'm
out.
getting
now.
so much hate, yeah.
hour weeks and like
Yeah.
out of debt.
I don't blame anybody in Cyberpunk.
But
No, I
but
don't
the
either.
higher ups, it's like, why are you
It's all them,
pushing so
literally,
much?
isn't it? Like
It's just money, isn't it?
pure.
They're trying to like do that next generation shift. But like
But now.
No, no,
in, like,
that
We're
doesn't
just-
exist
yeah.
now.
2 years.
That doesn't
it's not
exist.
enough.
It's
Next
not.
gen, I don't think exists.
Oh.
They've been pushing like every year. It's next gen.
No, it's just higher like
Resolution.
hardware. That's
Yeah.
literally is more fluids like movement
We
and just
don't
better
need that.
resolution.
We don't need that.
No, I just want a more interesting game. Like you're saying, oh, next generation, right? To me, next generation shouldn't be the visual. It should be what the fucking game can do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the performance of it and what you can actually do in it.
We're just going back to Uncharted. Uncharted 1, not great. It's okay.
Yeah,
But then
it's very bare
Uncharted
bones.
3 is like a movie.
Yeah, compared to it, yeah.
That's what I mean, and that's what games should be doing. They should be
Should-
like innovating.
In that sense,
Yeah.
evolve it rather than just.
Like
Is COD 9 again?
Uncharted 4, I never finished, but that felt different again. as
It were a
well.
long game, that weirdly.
That's what I think I got
at
bored
some
of it.
point, it felt like it were going to end, and it continued.
I
and
think
was
I
like, oh.
think like when I started doing the scuba diving, but I couldn't get bothered, and that's I played.
I was just. I tell you one thing about that game, which no other game's done it. To be fair, graphics wise, which it did actually baffle me, and I was like, right, you've done me. Which was when I booted the game up, it looked like it were live action footage of like the
Uncharted 3
oceans.
did that to me with the sand.
Yeah, like it proper looked like it were live action footage, and I'm like, oh, this is weird. But then Nathan Drake comes onto screen and is clearly a CGI model, because that's one thing you can never.
The graphics
really...
on 4 are insane.
Oh, they are insane, but you know you can tell. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That it's a model. And he came up and I'm like, why does he look weird compared to everything else? Then it zoomed out, and then I was playing it, and I was like, that was in a cutscene, and I was playing it. I was like, what the fuck?
That's
I
what.
was like, what?
That's what 3 did to me. You know, in 3 in the desert,
Yeah.
in the streets and days, like Scott. That was like I've never seen more gorgeous graphics.
Yeah.
I was just like,
One thing I loved about 3, which they didn't put in 4, which I thought was weird, which if you rolled in the sand, all the sand would get stuck on your clothes and
that's
your
what I
hair,
mean.
and as you run and kept going, it'd slowly like come out of your hair and stuff. See, it's all like little things like that. It's like,
it's the details. It's like I think they're trying to do so much visually in terms of like, alright, it's got to have so many more new pixels.
Yeah.
It's got to be such a bigger world. But imagine if they scaled it down back to like a smaller world.
but then added
Few
so
pixels,
much more like
but, like,
depth to it.
Yeah, the technology they can do, like with all the details. It's like the only game I would say is next generation that I've seen. It's like holy shit. Like as much as it's not great because it's on VR.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a step away. Like
I'm flirting with getting VR. I'm
Yeah.
flirting with it.
yeah,
Mm.
Half-Life Alex. Like they've done a
Yeah,
real
that
thing.
does look really good
Like,
to
the
be fair.
detail and
Yeah.
what they've done with that.
Especially for a VR game as well,
Yeah.
because they're obviously a bit more intense to
Yeah,
run.
The VR games, like they've sort of like been like really good, or like clearly like they've needed some more polish. But Half-Life Alex is like the first game I think you can say is like, okay, that's a reason.
Proper
to buy
like game, yeah.
That's a reason to buy the VR. headset
Yeah.
Right there, because all the detail. And,
See, especially you going back to the, I can pick up this box.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Especially in VR. Do you know what I mean? I bet for you that's the next step, innit? Went from using a keen controller picking it up, and now I'm using my hands.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
I can't tell you how much that blew my mind when I could get that gravity gun in Half-Life 2 on the
Yeah.
But that's when games are exciting anymore.
Especially at the end of Half-Life 2, where you get the gravity gun and it's updated. You can pick
When it's
up,
just
yeah, legit pick up the bad guys and just flame
and just
them.
launch them. Yeah, it's
I love-
mega.
Like the whole ragdoll physics always captivated me. It's
Same,
like,
yeah.
holy shit, like,
Another thing that were good for that, Gary's mod.
yeah,
Gary's mod, so many hours spent in that, just absolutely pissing about.
Absolutely hilarious what you can do with games.
That's another thing as well, where quite a lot of my multiplayer stuff were in that, because it were all just random packs you download and you could
Yeah.
play all sorts of
Like,
stuff, couldn't you? Murder, prop hunt, yeah.
Prop Hunt is,
Kin-
spent hours on that.
Even that, with it being on PC, you could use any audio file you want.
Yeah.
It's like, for the noises, so
Yeah.
people could figure. It's like, I could always remember one, and obviously it's just roulette, whatever noise you get, and it goes off for like 5 minutes, just going, "Ah, la, 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 la," it's just
Yeah.
screaming noise.
Yeah, it's just these like ancient sound files from like 2008.
Yeah.
About, like, all the memes you forgot about. It's
Yeah, they're all, like, proper
I thought about this sound.
Crispy noises as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
but sound design on games did sound way better than it does now, I think. Like, it's all...
Yeah.
Like, even water in games now just sounds like...
I've heard it.
Put on.
Yeah, I've heard it. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing special about
Like
it
back then,
anymore.
there was something like it's vivid enough where your imagination did the rest. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
It's
Like,
actually checked.
You could tell it wasn't like, of course,
yeah.
like, even
Half
like,
one.
today's standards, it's not like mind blowing back then.
Yeah.
But like, there's a comfort in like some like gritty old graphic because you're filling in the blanks, aren't you?
Yeah.
That was the appeal of Minecraft. Like even back then, even now, graphics aren't particularly great on it, but it's so clean.
Yeah, that's it. It's got style and it's
Yeah.
got character to it. That's another thing you
So
need.
good.
One thing I really hate with how things like that are going is everything looks like Fortnite
Yeah.
now. Everything just look. Any game that comes out
Yeah, I
now,
never
it just
liked
look
that
like
design.
Fortnite. I didn't. It's just boring.
Yeah.
Like it's fair enough. Like I'm not going to sit here and slate it because someone's worked on it. Do you know what I mean? Like that style. But like it's a good style. It's just so overused now. Like everyone's using it.
What's that
like,
game? Is it Overwatch?
Overwatch. That's the
I'd
same
say
style.
it's
Do you know what I mean?
Like this weird angular.
Yeah, like everyone's. It's slightly anime.
Is it a
it's-
bit like Mirror's Edgy? I think it feels a bit Mirror's Edgy to me.
I guess.
Like,
Yeah, like it's got that cartoon like anime
Anime
esque.
kind of thing.
Yeah, and everyone's like square weirdly. Like no
But
one's
it-
really rounded.
Do you think we're just being old now? Do you think that the new generation is just like they're gonna be like, yeah,
Well, no,
once
because-
Ah,
I mean, sort of, yeah, but at the same time, there is something to like. Video games used to be like, I wouldn't say indie in the sense now.
well, you used to
Well, I'll
strive
propose-
towards
Like,
something.
no one everyone mocked video games.
Yeah.
So like, it was like a nerdy thing.
Yeah.
Now it's so.
I'll-
easy to
Everyone's
play.
doing it, aren't
I'll
they? Yeah.
propose this question, right? I hardly play games now,
Yeah.
right? And I probably would, but I think it's because the games aren't very good.
Yeah,
Or do you
no,
just
I
think it's 'cause I got older?
100% agree. Well, it's that
It's
one.
a mixture, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got the nostalgia for the old games, which obviously some of the new games aren't like those. Because I will admit, like sandboxy type games, example Destroy All Humans and,
Yeah.
and games like that.
What
no
happened
one,
to that?
no one makes anything like that anymore. What it is now, it's like I need to put the most money into this game, make it the most cinematic, the most visually thing. It needs to have the best story in it, rather than just making something that's
Yeah,
fun.
but they aren't the
Do you know
best.
what I mean?
Appeal to everyone.
And yeah, exactly.
But they aren't the best stories now, are they? It's usually that
Exactly,
I've got
it's
no
something I've
excitement.
heard.
I've got no excitement to play any games because I do
No.
not care.
The one
There's no-
game, the only one game, and I've got a bit of bias towards this, but then again, I really trust the company because every single game they've put out seems like they've not just made it to make it. Because
Yeah.
again, is Dark Souls, FromSoft, that Elden Ring that they're putting out, their first open world game. I know they're going to do something a bit different
yeah,
with that,
they'll do
and
well
they
with that.
actually. Like they don't just make games for the sake of it. Do you know what I mean?
It's like
um,
Rockstar. I always trust Rockstar.
Yeah, exactly. They don't just make games for the sake of it. They craft the game. Do you know what I mean? They're not just mandating, slinging frigging COD out every year. Do you know what I mean? Which I'm not saying is bad.
Down with reissuing GTA 5.
Yeah, they really do with that.
That's
It's
the
Yeah,
like,
well, hang
we,
on,
we
but
get
it-
it.
There's still a massive server on there, isn't there?
Yeah, loads of
By all
people
means, like,
still.
play it, but how many versions is there? Yes.
Yeah, but Skyrim.
Jesus, I
Skyrim
just
is
ne-
like that.
just need a screw. There's a screw sticking out of there. I just need it.
Is it a nail? It's like
Yeah. Jesus.
it's like a secret saw trap.
Yeah. You're staying here.
There's one idea I almost hit that earlier as well.
But no, like it seems like there's like a loss of. It's like everyone wants to be the next Last of Us
The
game.
next Fallout.
I never liked Last of Us now. I'm the only person who probably doesn't like that
No,
game.
same. No, I actually
Really?
didn't, to be honest.
That's cool,
Like, my thing was, it's like, even though the story was good, weirdly, I didn't have I got a PlayStation the year Spider-Man for PS4 came out.
Yeah.
That's when I had it. So I had it like 2018. So I've not had it for the longest time. I was pure just PC. Do you know what I mean? I did like a 360 as well, but pure just PC. And forgot what we're on about. Oh, Last of Us, yeah. Like, so the story had already weirdly been ruined. So I was like, oh yeah, I like the idea of the story. Then it came to me like they put it as a free game on free game a month. I was like, do you know what? I'll play it. But the actually playing the game was shit to me. Like just
the gameplay
moment to moment gameplay. It was like
the stealth was broken. I thought.
Yeah, like it just felt
like,
tacky.
Games like first person, third, they're all doing like hide and cover.
Yeah, it's all the same thing, isn't it?
Is it? Anyone remember a game called
No.
Rust or Mist or something like that? It was an indie game.
Is it online?
It's a single player game. It wasn't a very good game, but I always thought that this is indie scoop this.
Yeah.
But I always thought that was better than Last of Us. It's the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's like a survival game. It wasn't very good, but I always thought it was really fun. You're basically just walking around fog, and I think it's like a tower game, but it's just really grim.
See, like
I always thought
stuff like that. It's got like atmosphere. I'm not saying like, fully shitting on Last of Us, but like it for me and like.
You ever play Bioshock?
Oh, you're on about
Yeah.
DayZ?
Like
No.
Bioshock.
DayZ mod on.
DayZ. That's another frigging computer breaker. That back in day. I'll just turn all foliage off so I can see someone lay down at field. Yeah, that's all that used to be on that.
Yeah, I know you're
Go
talking
to just server up and just sit at airfield like that, just waiting.
But back in the day, you had to do all that. You had to go in settings
Yeah.
and change everything.
Oh
You
man.
remember when subtitles became a thing? Like everybody started putting subtitles on a game,
Yeah.
and now games just like have them now, don't they?
Yeah. All people doing that with films now, putting like I've seen a lot of things. A lot of my
I've done
mates
that.
just sit down and will watch something and just put subtitles on.
Yeah.
I can't do that. It really distracts
I've started
me.
doing it, and you know what I think it happened? Like, I watch so many foreign films. When I go to
I
watch,
suppose there's that.
when I go
Yeah.
to watch an English film now, I just always put subtitles on for some reason.
I can understand it like in that, and I can understand it. Say if there's a lot of other speaking stuff going off in it, but like to me, I've quite like I don't know, my eyes wander, so I'll keep looking at that and not actually watch
You
it.
don't really take it in properly, do you?
Yeah, that's what. Especially when it's writing, because then it's like I start reading it and then it's gone before I've read the sentence for me, or I'll misread it or something like that, and I have to go back to the beginning and read it, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Do you think this is going to be like our sort of like like the old generation, like the Beatles and shit like that?
Yeah.
Do you think this is going to be our version of that?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, ultimately, throughout all of history that has happened, there's the older generation looks at the younger generation going, I hate everything they're doing. The younger generation is like, why are they stuck in their ways? That'll always be a constant thing in the world, I believe. Maybe less and less, it'll be less and less, but and people need to understand the fact you cannot fully change everybody's minds. It wouldn't work like that.
No.
Just leave them to live their lives. Do you know what I mean? Like, if
They're
they're
not hurting
not
you,
willing
are
to
they?
change and they're not hurting you, just leave them. Do you know what I mean? Like, just leave it.
It's still good to have a good, strong opinion though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I wouldn't say take anyone's opinion away from them because, you start doing that, then things start going wrong if people can't have opinions and stuff like that. And I don't want to live in a world where I can't express myself. Do you know what I mean? Like exactly how I feel or whatever. Because that's dangerous. Because then everything starts becoming controlling, which it kind of is. I can slowly seeing it, especially since though during COVID everyone's been indoors on social media, and there seems to be a massive social media presence more so than there was.
It's quite rough out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's hard not to get caught up in it. I think fundamentally I don't really care about social media.
No.
And then,
I mean I have Facebook, but I don't have it. Do you know what I
you
mean?
don't use it.
No, I just have it for Messenger. Like, I'm not fussed about that.
I've just got it down to WhatsApp now, and I'm flirting with getting social media just to promote my shit.
Yeah.
But I don't even really want to do that either. There's just something about it I just don't like. It just feels a bit like...
You weirdly feel like you have to do something on it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I've got Snapchat, but then that's more like a messaging thing more than anything, I'd say. Do you know what I mean? More than social media. I know it is, but like I'd class more of like Instagram, Facebook as a platform where you'd be exposed to a lot more as opposed to Snapchat, because you're normally just talking to a few heads, aren't you?
Yeah.
Although that news section on it is, yeah.
But I went away for 5 days. I didn't look at my phone once. I felt so good.
I'm not surprised.
And then when I came back, all this week, I've just been on my phone. And I just feel
constantly.
Shit again.
Yeah. I mean, like, I can't sit there. I'll always check my phone. I'm one of those people. I will always check it. I don't necessarily like being on it. I'm not one of those people who needs the newest iPhone or anything like that. I mean, my phone that I had started really like breaking, like the charging port in it and that towards end of uni. I haven't actually been bought a new phone in about 5 years because I've just had the hand-me-down phone because it's never bothered me, because if I can call people on it, text them, that's all I care about. I don't need it to be the next iPhone kind of thing. But I've just been... my dad got me this phone, who like, I haven't bought you one in time, so I'll get you that. But like, I don't want to be on it all the time. Do you know what I mean? I don't want my whole being to be it. Like, I might throw him in it a little bit here, but Lewis, you need to get off your phone as much. Like, we'll
make sure he watches this bit.
Yeah, we'll meet him. You can
this.
ask anyone who knows him. We'll be stood there and he'll be like, yeah.
I think I've seen that actually. I think when he was doing the podcast here, he was in that corner.
Yeah, he's always yeah. It's just all he is constantly. Which I can't knock him if he's actually doing something, messaging someone. But I mean, like that's one instance of someone. He's just always on his phone, like always, to the point where he's always got a portable charger on him.
I watch an unhealthy amount of YouTube.
Oh, I do, yeah.
I mean, and this is my biggest regret. Like last night, I was asleep for 4 hours. That's the night ruined. Yeah, I mean, I could have done something productive. I could have read a book. I could have watched a film.
Yeah.
I could have done something interesting. But I've just sat on YouTube and watching those shitty shorts. I hate the shorts, but I watch them for some stupid reasons. I'm just watching them like, hate you. That's an hour gone. Then look, the world's giant octopus. Click on that.
And then you go on a rabbit hole of watching sea-related things, don't you?
And then it's like, to catch a predator, and then I just become obsessed with that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
we did it. You and me.
Yeah, look at that guy, he's a dick. And then, but it's like, but it's not healthy. It's not good for me.
No.
I'm just watching all this nonsense, and then just like, oh look at like Hell's Kitchen as well.
That's a bad one, isn't it? Because you could proper fall into watching that.
I look at the camera now. Hell's Kitchen is like a wellness clinic. There should be like a whole wing in like the NHS.
Where they just play it.
Yeah.
Just play it. Yeah. Just play Gordon Ramsay screaming at people. There's something therapeutic about it. Yeah, and weirdly.
It's like X Factor can be a bad one for me. Bad auditions.
Yeah, auditions. Yeah.
But I feel just as bad for watching because I think they exploit people as well.
Yeah, they definitely do on that. I saw this thing recently, and it was this woman who. She went on it years ago, and she would kind of look like, Pink, the artist. She kind of looked like her, and she goes on stage and she sings a Pink song, and then they stop her, like Simon Cowell, and they start telling her all this stuff, and she's like, on stage she goes, yeah, but you just told me to sing it, and they're like, no, we didn't, all this stuff, and she's like, well, you did, and it comes out, and then she's done like spoke out recently, being like, I wanted to do these songs, like as my job. I am a Pink like tribute act, but obviously that's not what I want to be musically. You know, I'm just doing that to get me to where I am. And they made her do that to then point out the fact that she was just being Pink and just copying her, and then like shunned her off. But like the songs that she chose, they wouldn't let her go on unless she sung that song, and it were like written in this weird like contract thing. Even though you choose your songs, they wouldn't play it. They'd only play the songs that they'd want them to play, which
so it's like set up to fail, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. It's like I saw this other one. It's really bad. Like I really feel bad for the guy because he's got some kind of like mental issue. Like
is the guy? He's got the guy who's got a really unusual voice.
No, he's got like Down syndrome or something like that, and he goes on X Factor.
Is this like the American version?
I think it is the English one. I think because I'm pretty sure. What's her name? Ozzy Osbourne's wife.
Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon. And I'm pretty sure Simon Cowell's on it. But then I don't know if they're in the American one actually. I don't know, but
They are.
either way, he's like singing and like bless him. You know what I mean? He's like he's doing his best. Obviously, you know. But they're just laughing at him the entire time. They're just laughing at him. And then Simon Cowell goes, "That's the worst singing I've ever heard in my life," and just proper shatters this guy. Do you know what I mean?
But there's a really interesting thing about that, right? When you first watch video like that, sometimes you laugh because you don't know what's happening.
Your initial reaction is to just laugh along.
Because the show sets you up to laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you play it back, you're like, hang on,
sorry.
That's all right. You're like, that guy's clearly got mental issues.
Yeah.
And then you feel bad.
Because you're like, oh, wait, they've just pure exploited this guy.
Yeah, because
for life.
sometimes, because they always pitch it like it's just a guy who's just wants to be famous, so it's funny.
Yeah.
But it never is. It's
No.
usually somebody who's got like, just shouldn't be there. And
see, not only that, a lot of people as well. I mean, a lot of people, you know, you watch the worst auditions, a lot of people do go a bit mental, don't they?
Yeah.
And stuff, which I can thingy those ones.
Yeah.
But like, you know, some people, you know, say they might not have the best singing voice, but, you know, they can do a certain level of it. Like, you know, they take all that time and like confidence to go up there, and it's going to be on national TV and that, and then just get slated, so it just ruins your dreams, doesn't it?
There's like a sadness to it as well.
Yeah.
Because all these people are so desperate of becoming this like delusional
it literally
thing.
is pure out of desperation,
But
isn't
what
it?
they don't understand as well is like nobody on there is really a proper musician.
No.
They're all just gonna.
They're all just talent scouts, aren't they?
Yeah. It's not like a proper musician is like a proper songwriter. You're not really gonna.
I mean, it's like what, for example, I think. I mean, I might be wrong here, but it's one of them anyway. Like Louis Walsh or something, and like One Direction, and I don't know if he added them or whatever, something like that. But it's like they'd just go for trends, wouldn't they? So they'd just make boy bands out of like people, and it's like, oh well, even though you can sing, we're not going to go anywhere with you because right now that's not hot. Do you know what I mean? Like they just go for whatever the most mainstream crappiest thing is. It's like the last time I actually watched X Factor, Leona Lewis won it, right?
Well, she's only named what still probably like has a bit of clout.
Yeah, to do with it. That was literally the last time. But I actually wanted the other guy to win it.
I can't remember who that was.
His name was Ray. I can't remember his second name, but his name was Ray. But since then, the only thing I've ever seen of him is he put out this tiny like little album thing, which I saw probably like a year after he were on X Factor, an advert for it. And apart from that, I've never heard or seen out. And even Leona Lewis, like I know she's big.
Yeah.
I know she's bigger in America, but like where's she? Like, well, you don't get to see the progression, do you? Really?
Yeah. So some people get really big, but you never hear them.
Yeah.
Never even hear about them.
It's like I'm pretty sure One Direction, did they come from X Factor or something?
Yeah, that was X Factor, but they were all forced together.
That's what I mean.
It's just like a marketing campaign, wasn't it?
Exactly, like that's in right now, so
It could. I think that could be anybody.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in that.
That's just by chance, that as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to be that person who's ever like knocking anybody who's like being successful because.
Oh no, definitely not.
It's like. Because they've done it and I haven't.
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
yeah.
like anybody in that situation would take it and run with it.
Yeah, of course you would, wouldn't you? If you were in that situation, more than likely, you'd go, yeah.
However, I just think for people's mental health, people need to understand the perception of it. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
people look to these people as role models, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's like the Kardashians. There's never going to be another Kardashians again.
Yeah.
your face changed then.
Because it's like, for what I've seen of it, is whenever I walk downstairs, my mum's watching it, and I'm just like, fair enough, you get enjoyment out of it, but I actually don't see what you get out of it.
But then what happens is people want to hate it, and they go to watch it and weirdly get interested in it.
Yeah. See, I mean, I've been sat in there while she's been watching it. I will say, like, the main thing that just puts me off about it is just them themselves.
Yeah.
Like, not the things they do, it's just the way they talk.
But that's all marketing, and nobody's gonna. I mean, people are got close to it.
Yeah.
But if you're like a young girl, like you're starting your life, that's not really a good thing to aspire to be, is it?
No.
But sadly, that's what's happening.
What?
Like,
get famous off a sex tape?
Yeah, but no. Even what we're doing, like people think filmmaking is like I'm trying to get to Hollywood. Or something like that.
It's not necessarily how it works for a lot of people, is it?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not only that. Like, yeah, I'd love to make a Star Wars film or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you know? Obviously, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, ultimately, like, I just, I'd want to make what I want to make how I want to make it. You
Yeah.
know, because a lot of people don't understand. Like, I mean, you look. What was your stance on those latest Star Wars films?
The first one, I watched it so many times, wanting to think it was something better than it was.
Right.
The second one, I really like.
Right.
The last one, I hate.
Right. See, mine went from as soon as I came out of the cinema watching 7, I was like, I've just watched episode 4.
Yeah, yeah.
I said that to all my mates, and they were like, I started explaining it, and they were like, oh yeah,
It's very safe.
yeah.
Very safe.
Yeah, it's a very safe film. I watched that second one, hated it, proper hated it. I'm not gonna lie.
How many times have you watched it?
Twice.
All right, so you can form it because like some people watched it once.
I watched it in the cinema, and then I watched it again just because I was like, I don't know if I was just.
I think it's
clouded.
very flawed, but
It's very flawed.
I just like what they do with it.
I
thought it was different, and that's what I liked.
My point with it was the fact that how they tried to make it different, but in doing so, ruined characters that I'd grown up with.
I agree with that, but I just for a
there's
split
like
second,
yeah.
I thought she could go evil. I've
Yeah.
never felt that before.
They just build up Rey as. To me, there's no point in Rey. There's no struggle there because she starts off, and in that film they make her parents nobodies, which that I will actually like about that because then it's like, yeah, you're not from some lineage of power. You're literally a nobody
That's what I like.
making your own destiny, and then the last one ruins it by going, oh yeah, you're actually.
Well, the last one, me and Peter were laughing in the cinema. watching
Me and my mate were like,
That-
what is that show where it's like them robots sat down watching it? That's
No, we were laughing at Chewie when the fake kill him.
blow him up, yeah.
And there's that scream. But we was laughing, and there were families looking around at us because all these families were taking it really seriously.
Yeah.
Like this is the best thing ever.
I was peeing
And,
myself at that
yeah,
film.
and we.
It was so bad.
That's glad to
You
hear.
could tell nobody in it actually wanted to be in it either.
No.
Like the acting
yeah,
in it.
they're all done with it,
Like
aren't
it's the only Star Wars film, even including the prequels and stuff, like where you could tell like no one gave a shit.
No, it's like, well, there was no
That
plan,
breaks
was there?
my heart, it's
Yeah,
Star Wars.
exactly. And now they've full on ruined
So
a whole era
They
of
made
it.
all the like villains so OT as well.
Yeah.
Like bringing what do you call it back from the dead was the most stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Like, so he gets thrown down a hole,
Blown up.
vaporized, and then the whole station explodes.
You could not be more dead. That's dead.
No, you couldn't, could you? Oh, but no,
Dead
his fingers got burnt a little bit.
Is there any explanation behind that? Or is that what they're going to try and do? Is it Han's alive again?
Basically, what they say is he. Get ready for this. As he was falling down,
Right,
he transported his mind to a clone
Yep.
on that planet.
right.
That wasn't completed, hence why he looks burnt, even though that doesn't really make sense.
No.
So basically, it's not his original body he's in, but it's a clone.
The thing
It's a
what
clone.
annoys about that, if you're that powerful, the film would be over. Like you could
You would, wouldn't you?
You could destroy the world, couldn't you?
If you were that powerful before, why don't you just fucking do it before? Why don't you shoot lightning into the fucking space? Like, you know what I mean?
He didn't feel that.
Oh, yeah.
The whole point
I
was he was
forgot.
supposed to be like a weak fallen guy. He was quite evil. That's
Yeah.
why everybody liked him. He was like the puppet master, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That's what everybody liked about him. Now they just made him just like ridiculously over the top. Like
No, he's just the cackling old guy in the background.
Yeah.
Like, he's just nothing.
It really frustrated me because it's like.
Honestly, like,
I mean, it undercuts.
First Mace Windu.
all
now.
the rest of the films,
That's the
literally.
problem. It's like rewatch like Return of the Jedi and Vader
Yeah.
and Luke are like on the battle station like
Yeah.
looking at each other like we fucking did it, like I'm gonna die now. Imagine if Vader was like, oh yeah, just so you know, fucking he's alive still on this planet.
I could feel his presence still, Luke. You know, your
Yeah.
journey's not over, Luke.
I'm gonna
Don't
die.
kill your-
You can do it, son. You can do it. Like, come on. Dad.
Well, the only thing I didn't like about Return of the Jedi, like, I don't like what they did to Luke, but what I think they should have done, they should have made him a little weaker, but he gets stronger.
Hmm.
If you know, like, he starts off, he's like old and can't be asked to do it, and he's like a bit lazy,
Yeah.
and then he becomes good. I'd have liked seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
my thing was, it's like Luke Skywalker wouldn't try to kill his nephew in his sleep.
No.
Through all that he's gone through, all of a sudden, why would he just go, yeah, this is the right thing to do? Like, it just doesn't make sense for his character.
There's a divergence there.
What?
I agree with what you're saying, but a lot of people look at The Last Jedi and say, oh, well yeah, that was Kylo's point of view.
Yeah.
And even though Luke revealed that he did pull out his lightsaber.
Yeah, he did. He does do it, and I know it looks bad, but he could just. Oh no, sorry.
But the thing is, keep in mind, Luke was never this perfect guy. Like,
No.
He lost his fucking mind on Vader when he mentioned his sister. Imagine, you're the last Jedi, as the film says, and he's raised all these kids.
Yeah.
And then you see this cunt is gonna fucking burn everything and kill everyone he loved. The moment, instinctually, you might be like, I can stop it, and that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, it's stupid. I've just fucked it up.
So I'll just stand here and I'll linger.
And that's. But
Oh, you've seen me? Yeah. I'm here.
But that's part of the tragedy of it, though.
Yeah.
Like Luke is the person who made it that way.
I don't know. I just can't agree with it. Like, I just can't. It just doesn't.
I think that's one of the first Star Wars, but it's like Marmite now.
See, like, yeah. I know the whole thing, like, whenever you look.
Way better than fucking last one,
Oh, yeah, like, as much as I hate The Last Jedi, that fucking last one.
Because The Last Jedi, even though, like, I can generally understand why a lot of people have problems with
Yeah.
it, because it's like, I like it for some of those reasons, but I can understand why someone would be like, yeah, that's stupid. But it was trying to take it in a different direction, and then they've only made it sort of worse by fucking going back on all of those decisions.
Yeah, because it's like, instead of having an initial plan, they were like, yeah, we need to make Star Wars films because we bought them now, right? What we're going to do? He made Star Trek, get him in, go on.
The last one reminds me of the prequels a little bit.
The last one just,
Just throw everything
like,
out.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just
because
too much in one.
Remember when, like, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the prequel because I think.
I'm not going to lie, I love them.
I've got a big attachment to them.
I
don't think they're good films.
But the whole like era that it's set in and stuff, I love more than Luke Skywalker's era. I will say it, I don't care.
They're my childhood. So
Yeah, because that was to me that was the Star Wars, because it was like bare Jedi and clones and I know you got stormtroopers and rebels and stuff like that, but like especially as a kid, you watch A New Hope and it's filmed in the old cameras, you know what I mean? Like it looks old when you're watching it. And then these ones are coming out and it's all up to date special effects and stuff. Obviously, I geared towards more
when I was a kid and the ship's tipping upside down, I was blown away.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in Revenge of the Sith, when it's like upside down and they're like doing
See,
all this shit.
that's my favourite one, Revenge of the Sith.
I don't think they're good, but
I'm not going to stand there and say it's good, like, because I suppose in my thing with that's the only Fast and Furious film I've seen. My thing with like the prequels as well is it's like on its base, it's a crap, like, well, on it for face value, there's a lot more stuff going off in the background that's explaining other things and stuff. But obviously, you just watching it, you don't know that, which again will go towards like your film, innit? Because my thing with that is it's like it's not explained, is it? Like it kind of just comes out of nowhere, and like that would. Like, they were just rushed films. I mean, let's face it, they were, weren't they?
By all means, like.
And the fact that there was no overall
it's just correction
story. It was just, he made this film, now I'm going to give this one to you.
First one's safe. Let's try and do something daring. People hated it. Let's just go back to doing something stupid.
Yeah. They're like, oh shit, people like the prequels now, so we're going to
I would have had more respect for the last film if it had carried on with what happened in the one previous.
Yeah, people, all, I say all of them, but all online, these crazy people who like care too much. Really.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my god, they have no. Well, where did you expect the film to go in the ninth one? They had nowhere to go. They killed Snow.
Like what?
That's the fucking point.
Yeah.
For once,
you could have done anything.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson said no. Kylo is actually going to end up being the bad guy.
Yeah.
The main bad guy.
There we go.
Like, how many redemption stories do you fucking need in Star Wars? Like, I get it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like a plain.
But that's the formula, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
They'd be terrified trying to change
it's like,
it.
oh, but we got to have a redemption arc, and there's got to be a big.
Yeah. The big speech.
That's how they wrote it in the script meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they written down in the script.
He does have an over the top voice, doesn't he?
I love it though. It works so well for it, makes it iconic.
I loved it in the originals, but in the new one, I feel he plays way too far.
He way too enjoys it, especially in Revenge of the Sith. He enjoys that way too much.
It's like
when he's got lightsabers, like going. His facial
Well, I think
animation.
that's, like, it's fun in a way.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Fun, but in the sequel trilogy,
Proper going mad.
the sequel trilogy,
Batting down.
Yeah.
He's like talking to Ray, he's like, I am officer 6.
That's just, it's crap, that, innit? That is,
Like a dialogue.
like I was saying to him,
Isn't great.
Yeah.
That was like particularly like. Come on,
like I was saying a minute ago, there's the thing of like in the film previous, they make a point of her being a nobody, so she's like literally somewhere, and then it's just oh no, so everything's actually just been given to you on this like silver
that's
platter
what
power wise.
That's what I love
Yeah.
about Last Jedi is that they made it clear that she is really
Just
a
some
random
yeah.
A random.
That's what was brilliant about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it made the Force
See that was something I actually liked about
made
it.
The Force like a mystical thing that
Yeah.
can't be explained. But then in the next film, they're like,
Oh, no.
she's really a Palpatine.
Oh yeah, do you remember the kids he had? Do you remember those kids? Oh yeah.
That
And then
final,
those kids that they had then.
You see, she shot lightning because she's related to the guy who shot lightning in the other films.
Yeah, you know those like audio death
Honestly.
women on the side of the screen. They might as well have somebody like that on the side of the screen explaining what's happening to you.
Well, my thing as well, right? So she's like that, and he's shooting lightning at her, yeah. And it's disintegrating. Why won't he just stop?
That's a big
And again, why won't he? If he was like, oh, I'm dying, why won't he just right? I'll that cloning facility,
Go back
all the way
there.
over there. I'm gonna put my mind into it. Like, it's just lazy, isn't it?
I'm gonna have like a million ships, but they're all controlled by this one fucking station.
Oh, don't. Oh, but 5 minutes earlier in the film, we sent one out
and
to
the
blow up
fucking-
that planet.
They find space and they run over the ship, don't they?
Yeah.
And like I know Star Wars is I know Star Wars isn't like supposed to have physics.
Yeah.
I get that, but this broke physics to the point where I
Yeah.
was just like, what are they doing?
No, like my thing is, it's like, oh, we can't send any of these ships out because we need to send a signal. Except 5 minutes earlier, we sent a ship out to blow up a planet to show up that we can blow up planets. So where's that one? And how'd that one get out there? Oh, and another thing, you can only have this wayfinder to get to this planet. It's like such a treacherous thing going through this electronic cloud. Oh no, the entire galaxy makes it
The
here.
entire galaxy just fucking buzzes
It
around.
comes out of nowhere.
But
Nice one.
You know what was one of the funniest moments? It's a small moment, but you know, like the only other black character
Yeah.
is related to Lando at the end, and we're like,
Yeah, and it's like-
Lando's talking to her like, "Let's go find your daddy." Like, what the fuck?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I'd
We
literally
looked
just
at each other like,
turned.
Are they really in
Yeah, I turned to me about. I was like, well, that's just like spin-off bait, isn't it?
Like, do you know, like, everyone's trying to say, oh, they're trying to make it like more inclusive, and
In doing so, they're making it less because they're giving these characters nothing to do.
And by all means, like, I'm all for
Oh, same, yeah.
connecting things, like, but everyone's related, and it's
I
like,
know, it's
don't
just-
care.
Because it's like, right, so you've got Star Wars, it's a massive
Yeah,
universe of things, and everyone just knows everyone somehow.
Everyone's a Skywalker.
Yeah, like, it's like, what are you on about? Like, see, and another thing, like, I was reading up on it, because is her name, like, Rose or something in the second film, that Chinese lass?
Yeah, well, she gets completely wrote out.
Yeah, exactly, because they literally just cast her for diversity reasons, and then was like, oh wait, we actually don't have a character for her.
But we'll just, put it in
We'll
the
just make her
background.
run around. We'll just make her run around. Oh, John Boyega, we cast him because he's a good actor and for this.
He gets dropped as well.
Oh, but we don't know what to do with him because just make him run around in the
Oh, yeah,
background.
and then the last one, they're like, oh, but he's force sensitive.
What is he? But and it's like, whoa, why are you hurting my head, film?
Why are you?
Yeah, I tried to get the third one even. I just forget it.
I just pretend it don't
It
happen.
was too much. But it's funny. It was funny.
Oh,
I'll give them that.
It's the one I laughed the most in, put it that way.
I'm glad you.
And
find
it's
it
like they have all this heartwarming moment, right, with C-3PO. It's like, I'm saying goodbye to all my friends. Everyone fucking shits on him the entire film. No one likes him in the
We
film.
laughed at that, didn't we?
I don't
'Cause
even
it
mean
just-
like the audience. I mean everyone who
the-
was surrounding him was supposed to be his friends
that's-
shit on him.
That's the part we
constantly.
laughed at the most, isn't it?
One last minute looking at my friend.
And they're always just.
These
He's,
guys have been fucking on.
he's
They
always
hate
in
you.
He's always in pieces.
Yeah.
He's always being dragged around.
And then
You know, it's saying something when, like, in the originals, R2 and C-3PO were treated better
Yeah.
than the sequels. And
Exactly.
It's not really like, oh, like, we care about these guys. It's like, no.
and it's like, oh, I've lost my memory. Oh wait, R2D2 just stuck me, and I remember everything again.
It's like, God,
Nice.
it has no balls. Like,
That's what I mean. It's going into something like that, you've got to have a plan. That's why I think, obviously, in terms of like films like that, Marvel worked way better because they had a plan Do you know what I mean? Even though each film's made by like someone different, they had an overall plan. That's what Star Wars would lack, and it was like.
Well, the interesting thing about Marvel is like even though they had a plan, each film they could experiment a little bit.
Oh
in.
yeah, definitely.
And then towards the end, they worked out what everybody liked the most, and that's why it hit so big.
I mean, and now you look at the shows we're doing, like we're going really wacky with it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Especially Loki, I'm enjoying that
Yeah,
one.
Loki's brilliant. It's my favourite episode.
Same. I'm not gonna lie, WandaVision really let me down.
WandaVision, when they were doing.
What are these on Netflix?
Disney Plus.
I haven't seen these.
But, the first half.
Yeah.
It's cool because it's like different styles.
Yeah. And I like how they film it exactly how it would have been filmed back then as well.
But I didn't really care about like.
And it started getting further into it because not only that, like the people behind it were like touting it as if like this massive thing was going to come from it and like there was going to be a big reveal.
But it's just like.
But it is nothing. Yeah.
But Star Wars it's cool, and then I liked Winter Soldier and all that. But again, second half sort of let it down. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't like Winter Soldier.
But it's getting a bit weird.
Well, Loki seems to consistently at least be doing something with the concept that it's been given.
But Loki's pretty good actually.
It actually keeps going rather than stopping for a minute, you know, because every show.
I never got why women liked Loki. Women were obsessed with Loki.
it's just,
He's a slender, skinny guy. That's why.
No, but I know everybody said that, oh, he's charming. I'm like, is he? Is it a bit? Is he maybe a bit irritating?
Sophia, one of the gals who.
Yeah, she is. Every time she comes,
seems like.
every time Loki comes on the screen, she's like, "No, that's a guy." I'm like, "Is it now?"
This smarmy bastard on screen.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like a lot of what women like, I'm always like, I know what that guy's doing.
Yeah.
Like you might not see it, but I know.
I understand him. I fully understand his.
But it's like Star Wars, at least like with the Marvel formula. I always felt it was beyond that, and that's what upsets me about all the spin-offs. Like, and they're so fast with like tarnish it a bit. I'm not into this like, oh, they've ruined it forever, because someone will come along and fix it.
Yeah.
Or you can just watch the ones you like, and then
Yeah.
I get that. Like, let's not be hyperbolic here. It's not ruined our childhood.
Yeah, I don't have to like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
You know, but at the same time, it's like, damn, I wish.
I just wish it had gone in
I
a
was
different
fixing
way.
the
Yeah.
song,
Because like, imagine if like those films actually had some form of planning. They weren't just made for money, and like, you know, they weren't constantly being pulled down by. You need to have this in the film to appease to this, or you need this in, you know.
I think the fandom as well is sort of like fucking really degraded as well.
Yeah, definitely.
At least online, anyway.
Oh, definitely.
In person, it's fine. People can talk about Star Wars and it's like a conversation. But online,
Everyone's
like,
screaming at each other.
I almost feel bad, and this is crazy, but like, I feel bad for people who are making like the higher
It's like the new politicians. I would never want to be a politician because of how much shit they get. I'd never want to be work on those films.
Can you really blame like I can blame Disney, sure.
Yeah.
But can you really blame them for like the amount
No.
of shit they probably got?
It's. I mean, I
They couldn't win.
I read
They
into a lot of it with that Kathleen Kennedy
Yeah.
putting a lot of her own views into it rather than it being for everyone. She just kind of just made it for herself.
But at the same time, like, can you really even blame her? Because it's like no one could win.
No.
The new Star Wars.
The
trilogy was
shows,
never gonna
at least, seem to at least appease and capture like the original
yeah.
sense. Like Mandalorian, for example,
Yeah,
they're
Rogue
actually
One,
one. They've got people behind it who actually enjoy it, and two, like the recapturing the lost essence of it.
I've got a theory about that. When there is like it's made by people that genuinely love the source material, I always think it's usually good.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you want this to make it.
I'm watching them because they have like the gallery, which is it's like
behind the scenes.
yeah, it's all behind the scenes for it. And like just watching Jon Favreau talking about it, he's like, oh, I used to have this Star Wars toy as a kid. I loved it that much, put it in show. Like, and it's just this random massive blaster that he uses one point in the show. He used to have that as a toy as a kid.
Just little things like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like I like it.
Well, the Star Wars lore is really cool. Like, the old comic books I used to love. So I just wish like a fan of those made something like, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I think it's gonna go there though. Because
I'd love to see a Jedi Academy film.
Yeah,
as much
definitely.
As they screwed up, I think they've sort of understood that. Like, yeah, we can't really fuck around with this.
Yeah. I mean, like, fucking
There's
hell.
good ideas, isn't there? Like I always said, I really like Darth Maul. but I never thought they did anything interesting with him.
Yeah, in that film they did nothing interesting with him really. He's way better in the expanded media. But then again, a lot of the things from the prequels are only a lot better in the extended media.
At the end of the films,
Yeah.
they only get good once you sort of
Understand the rest. But I feel like it weirdly shouldn't be like that. But you know.
I just remember when I first found out Qui-Gon Jinn was Liam Neeson. Because like when you're younger, you don't know who actors
Oh, you
are,
don't.
do
You don't.
And then when
class it as that,
you're
do you?
older, I was just looking at Liam Neeson, and I was just like, that's Qui-Gon Jinn there. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
my boy.
Oh boy. Although me and my older brother always used to play out that scene where he gets killed. And he's like,
Yes, I think that's a childhood thing to do. I was always lay on the floor and I'd
This
jump
is
up.
funny, isn't it?
we didn't know the dialogue, but we did the boy. The boy.
Well, Star Wars is like, I think, based off Shakespearean like stuff. Isn't
Yeah,
it? It's
yeah,
very
it is, yeah.
Shakespearean.
It's got all kinds of influence, isn't it?
Especially the more so the original. Well, I say that. I'll give it George Lucas as well for the prequels. Like I was watching, I've watched loads of stuff. Yeah, exactly. I'll give him it. He made what he wanted to make. I'll give him that. And it's like even though he was making all these 3 films, at some point, like when he was making Phantom Menace, he filmed scenes for Revenge of the Sith and stuff like that. Like he pre-did them. Like a lot of the Tatooine stuff in 3 and that he like already filmed it then, so it'd be exactly like and stuff.
Have you ever seen behind the scenes of Attack of the Clones? It's really cool. Like to see how all the sets are made, like plastic.
Oh, well, a lot of it's just
like,
especially
toys.
towards the end of ones, it's just pure CGI, isn't it?
Yeah. Which is cool, like to see how it was made.
I like the amount of CGI in him, but then again, this sounds weird for me to say this, right? I do VFX as a course. I actually like practical things a lot more than visual effects.
Yeah, same.
Because like a lot of the time you see visual effects, you know it's visual effects.
Yeah, but the visual effects are good when it's subtle.
Yeah, when you don't know the visual effects is when it
like
works
like
the
if somebody's
best.
bleeding in the film.
Yeah.
And you think it's like a wound.
What is it? Layer cake.
Doing really good with like mixing them together.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
That is a
films and
piece
all.
of technology, though. That dome that they have.
Yeah. It's not even green screen anymore. It's literally
No, it's literally Unreal Engine, whatever, as all the backgrounds, and they can just edit it live, and they're actually stood there, and all the real reflections on his armor and stuff are actually there because it's mad.
Do you know when he's like in the desert and stuff? Like, that's just.
I haven't really seen it.
Oh well, put it this way: every scene is all filmed in the same place. All of it is filmed in the same place. It's just in this dome.
The baby Yoda thing put me off of it. I couldn't be bothered.
No, you should check it.
No, not because
I can understand why it's
just
put you off.
When people are just like everybody's just so obsessed with Baby Yoda, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch that now.
Well,
Yeah.
Again, that's the fandom sort of destroying it.
The cutesy side of it,
For
innit?
the actual show, it doesn't really hinge on that.
Well, Werner Herzog's in it. I've got a lot of time for him, so I'll watch it just for.
Well,
You're gonna tell me it for like 2 minutes, aren't you?
Pretty much.
Bill Burr's in it, though, isn't he?
Yeah, Bill Burr.
Yeah.
It's quite funny.
Yeah.
He's actually a cool character.
Bill Burr's good at them.
He's wanting to get into acting quite a bit more, you know.
He's got quite a good show, really. He's on YouTube. You've seen that shit he's done.
He were on a
Breaking Bad.
podcast with Mike Tyson not so long ago.
That's a hard interview.
Yeah,
He scares
well,
me.
Mike Tyson nowadays he takes shrooms and that all the time. Like on his podcast, he's baked out of his head, and he's like just eating shrooms, so he's just tripping balls.
Sometimes you laugh at him and he gets angry. He's
He's
like,
he's a lot more humble nowadays.
With Joe Rogan reaction,
Yeah.
When he announced he's coming back to fight it, and Joe Rogan's like, "Holy shit, I interviewed that cunt."
Yeah,
I'm not having him back. It's just scary because like,
he's an intimidating guy.
he's one of those guys like you can't really tell how he's feeling.
you can't read his emotions very well.
You just can't. Because
So-
you don't know if he's actually angry.
Because sometimes you laugh even though you're not laughing at it. It's just like a thing you do,
Yeah,
and then
He's got to be in such a different mentality though all the time,
he's
though,
been
hasn't
through
he?
a lot.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's got to be like the things have definitely affected him in multiple ways. But I think he has humbled himself a bit. You know, more towards present day compared to what it used to be like.
Well, why didn't he even like talking about his fight and stuff?
Yeah, no, he was like kind of against
Joe
it.
Rogan kept pestering to talk about it. I don't want to talk about
I think that's because people take themselves so seriously. I think they have this like sort of perfection, so they always see themselves as not being that good.
Mm.
Well,
So
at the same time, imagine being Mike Tyson. No one looks at you.
Exactly. They just look at you as Mike Tyson, don't they?
Yeah, but he has done some shit, to be fair now.
I mean, yeah, I'll give him fair play,
But
but
after like decades of it, he's probably like, well, can I just
move on from it.
Talk to you without looking like you're scared of me.
Well, thingy, one of my, he's not the best actor, right? He's not, but I really like Charlie Sheen, right? In some films he's been in, like 2.5 Men. Like,
I love 2.5 Men.
Yeah, same. Like, I've got the box set.
Yeah.
He made a thing a couple years ago, and he was like, right, like, you know, I've done all this stuff, right? And I said all these things. You know, can we just leave that in the past now and just move on?
I think everybody jumped on him. I think he was very vulnerable. I think yes, he was definitely out.
Oh, he was, yeah.
But I think everybody's like, well, great, we want to get our story out of him now. So
yeah,
we want a clickbait.
It's like that football thing where footballer passed out on pitch, and all media did was just film his wife and him.
15 minutes, yeah.
Exactly, it's ridiculous.
I went in the garden crying. Like I hardly cry.
Yeah.
But it was because
you don't want to see all that.
It's because they filmed his wife, and I was just started thinking about what she would be like without. And
exactly.
that's what choked me up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
it's not nice.
And yeah, but to be fair, like filming for the first 5 minutes, it's like, all right, we don't know what's happening. That's okay, but just kept going.
Oh yeah, but
going,
when you can see what's happening, they're zooming in on it, and it's because that's all it is, isn't it? It's just basically like paparazzi, isn't it? Like the whole media has just become paparazzi.
Well, that's what I always try to say to people. Like,
God, are we on Alex Jones now?
Nobody really gives a shit about you. Like
the frogs are turning the people gay.
That's quite good. That's quite a good voice. But nobody really gives a shit about anybody, really.
No.
Like if a famous person dies, it's just a story.
Yeah, literally.
Nobody really cares. Like,
it's only the people who actually was with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why I don't get people that just try and become famous. Cause it's just like, yeah, you're in the limelight, fine, but nobody really actually like. No. Like, you know, at the end of the day, to them, you just like, even this.
They like more the things you do rather than you yourself.
Yeah, even what we're doing now, people can watch it and they'll be like, all right, whatever. But when we go away, we've all got our separate lives that they won't know anything about, and it doesn't matter to them. Yeah, if you know
exactly.
What I mean.
Again, going back to like being at work, innit?
Yeah.
Like you there, you're nothing, aren't you? You're just there to give me the frigging can of cola or whatever. Yeah. I don't care. Yeah. All I want is that from you, and I'm gonna go about the rest of my day and forget. Do you know what I mean? No matter what stress the person's on or anything.
That's why I think people, for their own sanity, they just need to find their own groups, innit? And find the.
That's why I always say, be kind to everyone. Treat everyone as they treat you. Even if they treat you like a bit bad, I'd say.
Still try to be.
Initially,
unless it's getting really bad.
Yeah, then actually do something about it. Only do something if it's something worth doing.
You're out of time, aren't you?
No, my mum asking about a bus pass. But yeah, I am at the same time. At 15 minutes, then get some new glasses.
Is that what you're going for?
Yeah, I'll get my optician's appointment. With COVID and that, I was supposed to go last year, but didn't get to.
Oh, you're one of those that spend a lot on glasses?
No, these are literally just Specsavers.
Because they're trying to sell me like the high-end glasses. I was just like, what about these?
Well, if I showed you them, what would they look like to you?
High-end glasses. Yeah, and the thing is, you're just paying for the glass.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, they're trying to show me like these 200 quid glasses. Like, how about these ones that were just 15 quid?
Yeah. Where it's like, some like, I forgot where it was, in Europe, maybe Spain or Italy or something, where like all these like design glasses and even like the cheap ones, like all the frames come from like one or two factories or something in like Italy, and they're the same fucking.
Yeah, I saw this thing as well. Tesco, right? Tesco's own beans and Heinz beans made in the same factory. It's just at some certain point, one goes one way, one goes that way. And that just goes straight into the Tesco can. That gets the tiny little bit extra thing to make it Heinz in that one, and then there you go.
I actually prefer. This is going to be silly, but it's why I prefer like store brand crisps because they've got less shit in them.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't. The packets don't look good now, do
they? They don't. But the high end.
I think as is just white packet, isn't it?
Well,
is it?
There's the cheap, and then there's just like regular store brand. But like some of the brands that we're normally paying for, like you could probably get something that's healthier for you.
Well, Walker's crisps have. There's nothing in Walker's crisps. Oh, there's just like it's like all air and it's like a little bit of crisp as well.
Yeah, and like the amount of ingredients, it's like you could probably just put like fucking onion powder in it and it tastes the same. And that's what Asda and stuff do.
Yeah, remember you could get those like little sachets.
Oh, the little salt and shake packs.
Those were my pat lunch
Even
days.
though they were like pointless because the salt would always
Just bottom anyway, wouldn't it?
down, goes to the bottom and right on the side, so you'd like to
You-
scrape the salt out.
You always felt like a boss when you had a pat lunch, didn't you?
Yeah.
You were just
I
like,
was always on pat lunch as me, to be fair.
Same.
To be fair, my mum always gave me like really cool like sugary pat lunches. So it was a trade.
Ah,
I was a trader. I was a seller and a trader.
I didn't sell, but I certainly traded a lot because like there's this guy. I won't say his name, but my mate Jazz and that guy. I'll probably talk about him.
We just say his name.
No, not Jazz.
Oh, right.
It's someone else. But he was like the biggest guy in our year, like by a long shot.
Yeah.
Like he matured like young. So it was crazy. Like he looked like he was 21, with a bunch of like 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
So it was really weird for him. But he always had like all the like really cool like adult kind of. Because we all like ate like ham sandwiches and stuff.
Yeah.
But he'd like had a matured like outlook on all the food.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, oh well, I've got a Snickers here. And I'd be like, yeah. Right. So we'd always end up trading like every other week. Our pack lunch.
Oh,
So you'd
fucking
see
hell.
me, who was like tiny, playing Minecraft at like 9 frames per second. This huge guy trading pack lunch. And it was quite fun.
Fucking hell.
We recorded for 2 hours and 40 minutes.
That's a Joe Rogan episode, isn't it?
Innit?
Joe Rogan episode's 3
Just
hours.
talking about video games and fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's what we want to do more of now. Just do 3 hour like ones and get because some of the people I know could probably talk longer. I think some are like 1 hour
I
interviews.
mean, I definitely could have if I fucking didn't forget that I had a thing, optician. It's because I booked it, obviously, months ago.
Well, yeah, this feels like it's got 5 hours in it.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I reckon we go for another 2.
All night.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, some people it's just like a 1 hour interview, and that's what I like. And towards the hour, it's starting to die a bit.
If you can't tell, I can talk, mate. I can talk.
No, but you don't realize that's good for me because then we can cover points so much better.
Yeah.
Because then if it's like an actual dialogue, I can talk, you can talk, and we can build an idea.
See, like,
But-
I'm not necessarily going to, like... I will say everything I say. I always feel like I have to say it before. I always go... I don't, obviously, like, fully, against anything. But I will always say what I think. Do you know what I mean? I'm one of those people. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Do you know what I mean? Said, you know what I mean, about 7 times in that sentence.
I say it all the time. You know what I mean? Or yeah.
It's his own word now. It's not, do you know what I mean? It's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes I annoy myself when I listen to these back, if I'm editing them, I get annoyed. I'm like, can you please stop saying that? Or please, like,
Yeah, you're going to hear that a lot off me. I almost said it again then.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I don't.
I still think the sad thing is now when like it's always after the podcast where all the most interesting shit is said. I still believe that. Like there's so many guests where it ends and then they start talking about some really interesting shit.
Oh, we've had probably one of the craziest ones. Like, I want to hear people say
No, it's good. But
Well, I was going to say my appointment's at past and it's 20 past. It's only at Specsavers down there. Like, so. Yeah. Easy peasy.